It's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Good afternoon. It's already crowded on Pillsbury Parkway over I-40. It's gotten heavier. 75 already to the north as you head up into Anderson throughout Campbell County. Lots of radar, especially around that Dollywood exit this afternoon, traveling down I-40 through that section of Sevier County. Be careful. Fountain City Jewelers Wedding Band Weekend is coming up June 25th through the 28th. Call and set an appointment. Fountain City Jewelers, where Knoxville gets stacked. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WKGN 1340, go Vols!
You're tuned in to East Tennessee's premier sports radio call-in show. This is The Drive.
And hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another stellar edition of The Drive. This is Bear. We've got Walker Smith alongside, as well as Jace Brown. Russ is taking some much-needed me time.
Much deserved.
This week, so we will, I don't know if he's doing a staycation or what. He's just not with us. So, but we're going to hold everything down here. Got a lot to talk about today. Here in a few minutes, we've got Jack Foster, Omaha Productions, coming in to talk all things Tennessee baseball. We thought we were turning the page.
Yeah.
But news keeps dropping, and we will get into all that with Jack Foster.
It does keep dropping.
Yeah, and then in the second hour, we've got Trey Wallace from Outkick, and it's optional, coming in to talk about just everything that's going on with college sports right now, the latest on that. Somebody discovered a loophole apparently, before this even starts with the Deloitte and the NIL Clearinghouse. I'm sure we'll get into that. But with that being said, gentlemen, how are we this afternoon? Walker?
Oh, it was good. Feeling good. It was a very fun Father's Day weekend. You know, got to watch a lot of U.S. Open golf, a lot of sports going on, just hang out with my dad. It was great.
You want to hear something bad?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I did not see I didn't watch one hole of the U.S. Open first time in
Really?
in years, yeah.
Was it a busy weekend or I mean, it was a pretty interesting tournament. I mean, it did have some lulls through it. I will give you that. You needed, especially the third round, maybe early in the fourth round, you might have needed a little extra coffee to get through it. But, you know, down the stretch, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Not at all. I mean, it was
Didn't like it.
Yeah, there was nothing to draw me in. And honest to God, I kind of forgot about it. Kind of flew under the radar. And I don't know if this is indicative of if this is just where we at, because they're where we're at. You know, the household names were not in contention.
No, they kind of dropped off early. I mean, Scotty was always lingering. Ron was a little bit around. Brooks Koepka shot a low score the first couple of days, but kind of ejected the first cut after the second round a little bit, but shot well in round 4. But, you know, you're right. It wasn't a lot of household names, but, I mean.
No, there wasn't any big draw. And this is something that I've been wondering about as we, you know, now that, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Tiger's done.
He is done.
He's done. Lefty, you know, a lot of the guys that were the stars that during the golf's boom in the late 90s and 2000s, the guys are all getting old. And then you add that on top of the whole live thing and the split and all that. But if you don't have a lot of guys that people know in the mix and in the hunt on the weekend, especially if there's so much going on. You got College World Series. There was a full slate of all kinds of auto racing.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really busy Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and it probably didn't help from that standpoint too. There weren't any like big time names that were out there, and nobody really had a good weekend besides the guy that won. He was the only guy that finished under par. Everybody else was one over.
That's kind of how they like it.
Yeah.
Typically the PGA wants the U.S. Open, the winner to be at even par or at 1 under. There've been some outliers. Back in the day, Tiger.
Right, when he was
he
otherworldly.
Demolished Pebble Beach one year. And then they, which led to what everybody calls tiger proofing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you, I know you didn't watch any of the broadcasts, but did you hear about what they did during the rain delay on Sunday?
Is this where the guy, they didn't give him relief?
Oh no, this is doesn't have to do with what happened in the golf tournament. So on Sunday, about halfway through, when the last group was on about 9 or 10, a huge storm cell came through Oakmont, and they had to delay the golf tournament for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And instead of really keeping it around Oakmont and talking about it very much, they just immediately had 2008 U.S. Open highlights or like reruns going through it. So they played Tiger's back nine on Saturday.
Was it at Oakmont?
No, this was at
Why would they play some random 17-year-old U.S. Open?
This is the Rocco Mediate Tiger Woods U.S. Open.
Oh,
that one.
Tiger kind of did a lot of damage to him.
That's when he won it with 2 fractures in his leg and a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Had Rocco Mediate an 18-hole playoff, made one of the best putts in the last hole on 18 on Sunday, which, for all of, Tiger fans growing up, especially for me, I was 6 or 7 years old when that happened. It was cool to go and rewatch that. But, it was still a pretty entertaining Sunday, regardless of
the finish
people that were up there.
Yeah, I remember Sam from Under Review tweeting about it, just how that finish was, one of the wilder finishes that we've seen over the last couple years. Because I can't remember the Scottish guy, but he came up just short.
Rob McIntyre, Big Shot Bob.
Yes, he was one over. He was leading Spawn right towards the end, and then Spawn jumped to even in the 17th, and then Spawn comes out of nowhere, hits that 60-foot putt to just seal it in. You couldn't have asked for the way that one rounded out. I felt that. It did justice for what Oakmont did for this weekend.
Oh, man. Talk about the guy who had a rain delay to lock in and get ready. He goes out and shoots 5 over on the front 9.
Yep.
Of 40 on the front 9 is people think he's well out of the tournament and that he had vacated the premises of thinking he was going to win. Rain delay happens. He goes out there in his last 6 holes or 7 holes, goes birdie, par, birdie, bogey, birdie, birdie to finish.
Yeah.
To win the U.S. Open by 2 shots and being the only man under par. And, JJ, he wasn't a household name, but this is a guy who's been in contention in some tournaments this last year, had the playoff against Rory on Monday at the Players' Championship, hadn't had a really good major track up to this point, but now it seems like, I'm not going to say he's arrived and he's going to be a household name, but he's a guy that people are going to be looking at from here on out in majors, I feel like.
Yeah, he got the theoretical monkey off his back. He was waiting for that major win. Everybody's first is always going to be their hardest. He got it out of the way. So, yeah, I think now, he sort of opened some eyes hey, this is going to be the toughest course anybody plays this year. It's going to be, the most contentious round or weekend of golf that we're going to see all year. And he goes out there and pulls it off. He was up front in day 2 and sort of just never looked back outside of the front half on Sunday. So, maybe we get a new household name out of this, but we're going to need to see some more consistency on the top.
Yeah. And there were also, there were some guys up there that some people wanted to see win. A lot of people wanted to see Adam Scott get a second major out there and also want to see Victor Hovland get over the hump.
Yeah.
He has the most wins on the PGA Tour since like 2018 without a major. He ends up shooting a 73 on Sunday and finishing third. And Scotty, just putter let him down, and yet he still finishes T7.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. It ends up winning like $600,000 still. Not bad. It was pretty, for there not being a lot of names up there, Sunday, it was a pretty fun Sunday.
Yeah.
But no, there was, outside of that, Bear, you're right. I don't blame you for not watching it. There was a lot of sports going on Sunday.
Normally I do. I just, honest to God, I just kind of forgot about it. And then, I was watching, it's not for everybody, but I was watching, the Grand Prix, the Canadian Grand Prix, and just got busy doing stuff and just wasn't seeing. I think part of it was there just wasn't a whole lot of social media buzz about it, and I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, with that Canadian Grand Prix, I think the main headline out of that was it McLaren? The two guys that got in crashes with each other, something along that.
Yeah. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they're 1 and 2 in the championship standings, and there was some shenanigans that went on. He went for a gap he thought he had to make a pass, and it really wasn't a gap. And when you're going 190 miles an hour, you really can't make any kind of mistake like that coming down a straightaway. So, but that was a really good race. But don't want to turn all of our listeners off by talking racing. I guess the biggest news for me coming out of the weekend is, and you heard the cries from around Loy Boy world.
Oh Lord,
Dylan Loy, Tennessee left-handed reliever. Pitched, here for 2 years, pitched a lot of baseball to the transfer portal.
Has vacated the premises.
That blew my mind.
That is tough to see.
Yeah, local kid was a huge piece in this rotation the last 2 years.
Pigeon Forge's zone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just leaves. I wonder what that bag was. That's my question.
Well, speaking of which, and, we're definitely going to get into this later. The Pinnell story coming out of that's over the weekend. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but
I never got the chance to really dive into it.
Apparently her dad tweeted out some really, really wild stuff and then deleted it, but it's the internet. Screenshots last forever. And he made some statements that probably didn't want to make. There's more fallout from Coach Weekly. Friday we knew that she had basically said, what happened, that there had been tampering. And it sounds like the billionaire Texas Tech booster just flat out paid a ludicrous amount of NIL money to get her to hit the portal and go to Texas Tech. So
wow.
Offer you couldn't refuse, and I guess her dad couldn't refuse it either.
Yeah, what are you gonna do if someone's paying you that much money to go play softball somewhere? Like,
yeah, you're not.
But
it's not a good look to get on there and get into it with Tennessee fans and then make snide, smug comments about, you're going to get back to counting the money your daughter just got paid.
No, if you throw Vol Twitter a bone to attack something, they will.
Oh yeah,
they're
absolutely relentless.
They'll be relentless.
Tennessee took a commitment from
UNC Greensboro.
I wasn't talking about that one.
You weren't?
No, the catcher from
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green,
that's
the
right.
MAC Defensive Player of the Year in college baseball. Looks like he's got a pretty big bat. So Tony, and this is something that here in just a minute or two we'll get Jack Foster's takes on all this. It looks like Tony's he's always recruiting, and there are guys that are unfortunately, I don't know. Would you say recruited over?
Yeah. That or just lost in the shuffle, because I don't think any of those guys have been recruited over amongst that group that's in that catcher group, whether it be Stone Lawless or Cannon Peebles or Levi Clark. They sort of expected it sort of be a revolving door, like one person comes in this year, gets the job done, and goes to the league. That's sort of what we've seen at some other positions, like third base, for example. We've seen that over the last couple of years with, like a Trey Lipscomb. Then, of course, we had Zane Denton here, but then Billy Amick followed him up. So it's been sort of a rotation, but now we aren't seeing that, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
And, there's something, the way Tony Vitello recruits, he doesn't recruit based on need. Like, he doesn't go out, like, yeah, he knows positions he wants to fill, but he will prioritize better talent and the best talent out there in the portal over what position he might need to fill. Like, if there's a guy who is better than a lot of other people out there, he's going to go out and get him regardless of what his roster looks like, because he is open about there being competition in his clubhouse and wants the best players on this campus.
Well, we are going to get into all that and more with Jack Foster, as well as I kind of buried the headline, our guy, SEMO, to the show. Did you guys watch?
I didn't watch, but I was definitely following how he was doing and everything.
Yeah, I watched Friday night. I got chill bumps when I saw him when it
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man! That camera, seeing him dig into a major league batting box and do the thing with his helmet where he gets everything down tight, and he does all the rigmarole with his gloves and all that. But yeah, I couldn't be happier to see that. Angels manager already under fire apparently yesterday with the bases loaded and Christian Moore coming up to bat. He decided to pinch hit for him with what I'm being told statistically is the worst hitter in Major League Baseball.
Who did he pinch hit for? Do you know his name?
I cannot remember off the top of my head. But
there's probably a reason we don't know his name if he's the worst hitter in baseball.
He was getting it from Angel fans last night.
It was last night?
I'm fairly certain yesterday. I'm fairly certain it was yesterday. So, but we are going to take our first break of the hour, and on the other side, we'll have Jack Foster on, and we'll get into all this baseball stuff. You're listening to The Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hall of Fame Wine and Spirits is Knoxville's new one-stop shop for legendary deals on all your favorite adult beverages. Conveniently located on Hall of Fame Drive, less than a mile from the Smokies' new downtown ballpark, Hall of Fame Wine and Spirits has everything you need for your next gathering with friends or a relaxing weekend at home. So stop by and show some love to this new local business and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Hall of Fame Wine and Spirits, 742 Hall of Fame Drive, online at hofknox.com.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134 for directions and to look at the rest of the menu. Visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Showers and storms continue to roll their way on in from west to east, and that's really going to be the story over the next several days, with forecast highs topping out in the low to mid 80s. However, this weekend, we're talking highs in the 90s. This forecast is brought to you by Master Battery. Listen, they've got the best prices in town guaranteed. They've been here for more than 40 years, and they have what you need when you need it. Give them a call today, 865-947-1500. That's your latest forecast. For regular updates, check in with the East Tennessee Weather app or online at easttnweather.com. From the East Tennessee Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Witcher for Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Good afternoon. Building pretty good right now through downtown Knoxville. A little bit more volume here on 40 West at 17th Street. Some of this traffic getting onto Alcoa Highway, already headed out past UT Medical Center. A little bit of volume already has developed at times 40 East at White Road as it gets heavier there at Cedar Bluff, right at the interstate. Plenty of radar this afternoon, at least it was earlier, north of Knoxville. Be careful on 75 traveling up to Anderson County. Hey, Fountain City Jewelers Wedding Band Weekend. It'll be here before you know it, June 25th through the 28th. Give them a call and set an appointment. Fountain City Jewelers, where Knoxville gets stacked. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into the drive, and we are pleased to be joined now from Omaha Productions, our buddy, Jack Foster. Jack, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Not too bad. You know, Jack, we thought we were here on the drive. Last week was kind of a turning the page and finishing out, putting a bow on Tennessee baseball season. But lo and behold, we get to the weekend and there's news dropping left and right.
Yeah, no, it's the beginning of the off season is always the busiest with transfer stuff, obviously, given the timing of it all and people leaving, people coming to Tennessee. Tony has more time on his hands this time around in mid-June to make some moves, which, obviously he would rather be playing in Omaha right now, but I'm sure it's a little refreshing to have all this time to commit to recruiting transfer portal players, and Tennessee certainly got a couple so far, but has lost a few as well.
Yeah, and I think probably the best place to start will be with one that we lost that came as a surprise to me. I'm not sure about you. You are a known member of Lloyd Let's try that again. Lloyd Boys. Right. What are your thoughts? I mean, this kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, it took me by surprise as well when I heard the news. And, it feels like Lloyd just wants to start. Obviously, that's why he would leave, because it was definite that he was going to be a top bullpen arm next year if he came back. But the starting conversation was a little bit unclear. If he was needing to be guaranteed a spot, then I doubt Tennessee was able to do that. Not saying that Dylan Lloyd couldn't have been in a conversation to potentially start on the weekends, but not a guarantee. And he moves on to be a surefire starter elsewhere. Certainly wish him luck. He's a local guy, and he's pitched some huge innings for Tennessee, was a significant arm down the stretch as a fringe bullpen guy on the Natty team. Of course, this past year, great early in the season, really the first half, but still a trusted arm throughout. This is it's not like just a massive loss to Tennessee's pitching staff, but it's a pretty big one. It's an important one, because you look at what Tennessee was returning on its pitching staff. You have the two rising sophomores in Braden Krenzel and Tegan Coons, but other than that, it's pretty slim pickings for bullpen arms. Dylan Lloyd, the clear leader of the returner for bullpen arms, now gone. It just muddies things. It makes things a lot more uncertain for specifically Tennessee's bullpen moving forward. I know, they got the Kennesaw State guy who will be a bullpen arm more than likely. The ETSU arm, Brady Frederick, we'll see if he starts or as a bullpen arm, but a guy who can give you some big innings next year. So Tennessee will be fine. You never expect Tennessee to be hurting big time under this regime, but a surprising loss and one that's kind of unfortunate, more so than it would be just because he's local.
Yeah, that was the head scratcher to me. I mean, it's a kid that grew up just right up the road. So, but I mean, if he's looking to be a starter, and then I wish him luck. And if he wasn't going to be one here, I can understand him making that decision. Well, Jack, the transfer portal taketh away, but it also giveth. Tennessee gets a commitment from Bowling Green transfer catcher, Garrett Wright, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. What are we getting in this guy?
Yeah, you're getting an elite defender. You know, he's a two-time first-team All-MAC selection, but also, like you said, MAC Defensive Player of the Year. He's a utility player, kind of has, you know, I think he's a different profile than Dalton Bargo, but as far as the positions he's able to play, specifically outfield and catcher, you're getting a utility guy like Tennessee got with Bargo a couple years back out of the portal. And this is also a guy who's done well at the plate in his career. Just under 400 in his career at the plate, 396, 14 homers, hits doubles at a really nice rate. You know, slash last year, 406, 513, 663. He's coming into his third season of college ball. As you mentioned, he's been at Bowling Green. You know, he, like I said, he hits a lot of doubles, broke the Bowling Green record last year with 20 doubles in the season. I think, you know, that would have been close to leading Tennessee, maybe even led Tennessee. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe Inslee was around that mark. So a guy who just hits, and that's something that Tennessee obviously needs going into next year. You got some really good players, but not a lot of power, not a lot of real pop in this lineup as far as what it looks like right now beyond Levi Clark and potentially Chris Newstrom next year. So to get a guy like this is huge, and it seems like a guy who's certainly going to be in contention to start and probably will start for Tennessee next year somewhere.
Where exactly do you think that would be in the field? Because I believe his primary position was catcher, which obviously Bargo and Lawless were around that spot along with DH. Where would you think Garrett Wright fits in defensively?
Yeah, it's hard to say right now. We'll have to see in the fall. I think Stone Lawless would be the leader in the clubhouse as far as who will be Tennessee's starting catcher next year, assuming Cannon Peebles is gone, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Stone's waited his turn. There's a lot of potential still with him. While we haven't quite seen it consistently, I still would put my money on him being Tennessee's primary catcher. But, you know, Tennessee's in desperate need of outfielders right now. Chapman's presumably gone. Of course, Inslee's out of eligibility. I mentioned Chris Newstrom. I would imagine he's an outfielder next year. But beyond that, there's nobody. You know, Hunter High's on the roster, and he's had solid midweek moments, but I don't think anyone's expecting him to be an SEC starter. Colby Backus is left, so whatever potential there is gone. So outside of Newstrom, and if Abernathy could also start in the outfield, but I'm projecting him to be the second baseman. So beyond Newstrom, there's not much out there right now. So I think maybe out of need, Garrett Wright could be an outfielder for Tennessee, but a guy who could end up being the catcher, and it wouldn't be all that surprising either.
Yeah, I've noticed all these guys, and that is the one thing about catchers. Like he played 22 games this year in the outfield. Garrett Wright did. It's my understanding that they may want to use Levi Clark at first base next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of these guys, it's, you know, you see a catcher coming in. We've got Stone Lawless and this guy and that guy, but there's several different positions. And you know, looking at his offensive stats, his bat seems to have some really good pop. We'll see how it goes against SEC pitching, but looks like a really good addition for Coach.
Yeah, I think it's the best, you know, offensive addition Tennessee's gotten so far. And, you know, as far as the candidates that Tennessee could get, guys that are coming on visits, this feels like it's going to be one of the bigger lands of this cycle. Tennessee's gotten quite a few arms, but a really nice land for Tennessee, and a guy who can play multiple positions. And with Tennessee being a little bit thin going into next year, it's definitely welcomed.
Yeah, of course. But you see with sorry, I just lost my train of thought. When it comes to the positions that need to be filled for Tennessee, where is outfield that number one spot you think we need to fill, depending on if they decide to move Abernathy to the infield or keep him in center field? Or now with Dylan Loy hitting the road, do you think it's more important to bring in some bullpen arms and pitching, even though we've gotten 4 pitchers out of the portal already?
Yeah, I think it would be important to get some left-handed arms out of the portal if you can. You know, I don't want to put eggs in the basket of Binky and Sharman coming back and taking a big step. You know, I would like to see Tennessee be able to get some more pitchers out of the portal, maybe a little bit more proven guys. We'll see what comes down the pike. But up there is outfield, and I know they're recruiting or at least trying to bring in a Seton Hall corner outfielder, Aiden Robbins. He visited Tennessee last week. I know they're looking at a Cal middle infielder. So there's other guys that are going to be options for Tennessee. They kind of need guys at multiple areas right now, but you're right. I would say relief pitching and outfield are the two areas I would look to that Tennessee needs most, and maybe put a little bit more of a priority on pitching right now.
All right, I'm going to try and say this name. Cal infielder Jaron Advincula?
That's how I would say it, yeah.
Any word on his visit or how?
Yeah, I mean, nothing like nothing too specific here, but I just know that if this is a guy who commits to Tennessee, what you're probably going to see happen is that he is a middle infielder. So I think Manny Marin would be, probably more apt to go back to third base rather than shortstop, which was an option. Of course, Ariel's in the mix here too. But I think if a guy like Advincula were to commit to Tennessee, an infield you could easily see for the Vols next year is Levi Clark, Jay Abernathy, Advincula, and Manny Marin, which I think would be really strong and a good defensive infield at that as well. So, we'll see what ends up happening. Manny's a guy who can play all three positions in the infield aside from first. Jay's also versatile. He can play multiple positions everywhere. If Tennessee were to get a middle infielder, that would free up Marin to go back to third, and Tennessee could put the chess pieces, together, puzzle pieces, I should say, together a little bit easier.
Yeah, I was wondering because I was thinking that they would just slip Abernathy into Hunter Ensley's spot in center. He's so fast, can cover so much ground. But it looks like, we talked to one of your buddies last week, Ryan Shumpert, and he really felt like Jay Abernathy was going to be would end up in the infield next year.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, he's more of a natural infielder, and he can play center. I don't, like you said, his speed, and I don't think his glove is as good as Ensley's was, or a couple of other guys in the past, certainly Gilbert, but. He's going to succeed whether you put him at corner, outfield, center, the infield. But I just think you're going to maximize his potential if he plays at second base, and that's just what he's more natural at. So I feel like that is more likely to happen, and he's going to be a guy Tennessee relies on a lot next year. So being in the infield makes sense. But, both options are certainly feasible and could happen.
When it comes to the type of recruits that Tony V brings in, we talk a lot about how he has to fill needs and where he wants to put guys, but a lot of the time the track record with Tony is he seems to kind of just bring in the best guys regardless of position, and that feels kind of like what we're seeing this offseason as well. He brings in a catcher when we already have two catchers on the roster. Granted, he is a utility guy and can move around, but it feels like that's the way he's been trending. Is that kind of what you picture when you see Tony V going into the portal and recruiting more off of talent instead of positional need?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's been his MO in the portal. Just get guys to campus who are great ball players, and we'll figure out the rest. It's kind of what they did last year with the infield, right? Gavin Keelan, a shortstop at Louisville. You already have one in Dean, and a guy in Ariel who could take a step, but bring in Keelan anyway. We'll figure it out. You got Fisher coming in, who's a third baseman. Figure he starts there, but then the whole issue with Alex Perry and Alberto Osuna requires him to move back, and it's just, we'll put the puzzle pieces together like we need to, and it'll all just work out. And as long as we have great players, then that raises our floor. I think that would be the coaching staff's mindset, certainly Tony's, when, recruiting these portal players, and it's worked out. I mean, transfers have been so huge in Tennessee's successes in the past couple of seasons. You look at Billy Amick, you look at, of course, Fisher last year and Liam Doyle, it goes without saying. Even Zane Denton, a guy who provided massive swings for the 23 team. So Griffin Merritt as well. Transfers have just kind of worked out, and it hasn't exactly been a plug and play for all of them. You just kind of make it work, and Tennessee has for the most part.
It feels like the gem of this transfer class potentially could be the Seton Hall outfielder, Aiden Robbins, who you highlighted earlier today. He would kind of fix our outfield problems if the transfer we just brought in ends up playing right field. He's a speedster, plays center field. Abernathy would naturally move into the infield. What more can you tell me about Aiden Robbins out of Seton Hall?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, he's a guy who's going to fill a massive hole for Tennessee, and a guy who's experienced, and I think is just a plug and play option for Tennessee. Started 43 games a year ago, not a master of the baseball or anything like that, but still hit over 300. Second in the Big East with 5 triples, so can have some pop here and there. Was second on the team with 31 RBIs, had 9 multi-RBI games, 17 multi-hit games. So he's not a black hole offensively. He's a solid bat, not one that's going to blow you away, but a really capable outfielder and a guy who would be really good for Tennessee to add. And I think it would, like I said, solve a lot of issues for Tennessee going into next year.
Well, Jack Foster from Omaha Productions, I'd like to thank you for jumping on with us today. So out the door, do you expect us to be right back where we were this year, competing to go to Omaha again next year?
I'm going to expect that every single year for Tennessee baseball under Tony Vitello moving forward. I mean, unless something drastically changes with this coaching staff, Frank leaves and the pitching is just not the same down the road, whatever. But right now, in its current state, I'm always expecting Tennessee to be an Omaha contender until, it's proven otherwise. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Well, Jack Foster, everybody. Jack, let everybody know where they can find your work.
Yeah, at Jack Foster Media is what you can follow me on X. A little bit different now with baseball season over. I don't get into football and basketball as much, but we'll certainly provide Tennessee athletics thoughts all throughout the rest of the year, and also promote all the shows I do over at Omaha Productions as well. And then at Rocky Top Insider, full coverage, Tennessee athletics all year long, and certainly off-season baseball. So appreciate it, guys.
Oh, no problem. Fantastic stuff, and we look forward to talking to you again. Take care of yourself.
All right. Appreciate it, Bear. See you guys.
Thank you.
Jack Foster. Yeah, Tony's reloading, boys.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm excited.
He's right. As we've seen the past 5 or 6 years, our floor is the super regional. We haven't gotten below a super regional in 5 or 6 years, I think. And our ceiling is winning a national championship. So that's the expectation now, and he got that exactly right.
Yeah, I'm outside of the people that we're bringing in. I mean, Russ has hit on this for several weeks, especially at the start of this offseason. Seeing what our freshman who was redshirted this year, Anson Seibert, I think, the big 6'8" lefty. I'm excited to see him on the mound because I think
keep forgetting about that kid.
I know. I think him, being fully healthy, I think he might just be a plug and play guy because him as a prospect, big lefty. You don't get much better than that.
No, I mean, 6'8", that big. I mean, he's
that's almost
touch
big.
you with the hand of God.
That's big unit size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like having a pitcher like. When's the last time? I don't think we've ever had anybody 6'8". But
how tall is Crochet?
Crochet's pretty tall. AJ Russell's like 6'6". So
AJ was 6'6".
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah.
Chase Burns was.
He's 6'5". Yeah.
Chase Burns, he's big.
Was big.
These kids are just so big now.
I wish he did really well at Wake, and you can't blame him for leaving. But
I can.
You absolutely can.
I mean, bite
your tongue.
I hold no hard feelings for it. I mean, that's just me. But I feel like it would have been really cool to get a year of him as a starter, even as electric as he was out of the bullpen for us, and all the moments we got for him.
His freshman year, he was a
starter.
That's what he started.
He was a starter until he got sent to the bullpen
that's
right.
Year.
Yeah,
I just think of him more as a bullpen guy.
No,
he must just block that out of my memory.
He moved him to the bullpen to try and shake things up. He was in kind of a slump, and
that's probably why he just wasn't like the
dominant
guy we're seeing.
Everybody was seeing his. Everybody had him dialed in, and then once Tony moved him to the bullpen, it kind of got some pressure off of him, and he just. Especially in the postseason. Oh yeah, I mean, you're basically getting a starter with starter velocity and command. In the 7th inning.
Yeah,
after you you know.
And there's no like restrictions like, hey, you don't have to ease up, you don't have to pitch 90 pitches today. You can go out there for
let it
45.
rip.
You can get up to we saw him get up way in the triple digits several times.
So, but I'm also hoping the kid, God, terrible. I cannot remember for the life of me. Remember the Submariner.
Let me get
Das Boot.
Let me get his name for you.
At ETSU.
Yeah, one of the things
Mason
that
Estrada.
Yeah, one of the things that really that year and a style of pitcher that I'm really interested. We need another junk baller like we had in Kirby Canal.
Yeah.
When we would go from starter and bring Kirby in, he'd throw his junk, and then he would bring in that year, it would be like Chase Burns, and that's a hard adjustment to go from, you've been seeing a starter for 5 innings, and you get this guy who's throwing crazy stuff at 73, 74, up to 80, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, Tony's bringing on a guy that just throws straight gas. But hopefully we'll get everything balanced out. So, all right, we're going to take our next break of the hour, and we'll be right back with the conclusion to hour number 1 here on The Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Citizens National Bank.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the CNB Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at CNB has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Your smile is one of the first things people notice, so why not make it unforgettable? At Knoxville Smiles, we believe everyone deserves a smile they're proud to show off, whether it's time for a routine checkup, a professional cleaning, or something more advanced like teeth whitening or veneers. Our expert team is here for you. We use the latest technology to provide the highest quality care in a comfortable, friendly environment. At Knoxville Smiles, we don't just treat teeth, we treat people. Our goal is to make every visit as stress-free and pleasant as possible. So if you've been putting off your next dental visit, now's the perfect time to take the next step towards a healthier, brighter smile. Give us a call at 865-539-1776 to schedule your appointment. That's 865-539-1776. Or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Good afternoon. It continues to build 40 east across that Holston River Bridge. All that traffic flow headed out through East Knox County this time of the afternoon out past Strawberry Plains Pike. Be careful on into Sevier County. Lots of radar around the Dollywood exit earlier. It's pretty busy now Broadway through Fountain City as you head over the ridge there into the Halls area. Hey, Fostering Hope TN, helping thousands of East Tennessee kids that are in the foster system. This is a wonderful organization. If you can help, log on to fosteringhopeTN.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
They got a lot of nice girls.
Welcome back into the drive. I'm really looking forward to, I know it just ended, but now I'm really wanting to see what we look like next year. So we don't have too long to wait. I guess fall baseball start up here in a couple of months. And
we'll get some fall ball news.
Yeah, we'll get our first look at some of the new guys and some of the guys that were on the team that we hadn't seen yet. So should be a lot of fun.
Oh, you're right. We just can't turn the page on it, can we? There's too much news, too many guys we're trying to get.
Yeah, and that's part of what goes along with having one of the better, I think the best coach and best baseball program in college baseball right now.
Yeah, a hot commodity. You know, everybody wants to play with you. Nobody wants to play against you. It's nice to have that problem. Yeah, it's an influx.
I don't know what to do. I've got a couple of friends I was talking about with another buddy of mine. We've got some friends that got really upset about the Wake pitcher. Was it the Wake pitcher or Arkansas?
Probably the Arkansas.
The Arkansas pitcher, and
who lost his mind at Fisher.
It
was a
I'm like, when you walk around acting the way we've acted for the past few years,
you got to be able to take it back.
Yeah, I mean we embrace being the bad guy. So, but with that being said, let's go to the Fan Run phone lines for the first time today, where we have Phil. Good afternoon, Phil. How are you, sir?
What do you say, Bear?
Not a whole lot, buddy.
How you and the boys doing?
Just having a lazy summer afternoon show.
Well, that's what you call a W in spare time?
Well, no, I mean, Russ works hard.
Oh, ain't it about time to move on from baseball? Football's around the corner, and
well, I mean,
that's what we've been saying.
That's what we tried to do, Phil. But when there's so much portal news going on, and the you know, next year's roster is already starting to take shape. There was a lot of news we had to get to today.
Yeah, I'm glad. I hope he can rebuild it. I mean, this year was a decent year, but they lost a lot of good players. You can't replace that overnight.
I don't think we lost as much this year as we did the year before.
That's what I meant.
Oh,
2 years ago. These guys are moving that real quick in the minor league system, so that they were definitely studs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Christian Moore made his major league debut. I don't think Blake Burke is going to be in high A much longer. We'll probably see him in Double-A ball soon. He's really seeing the ball well. Crochet's, unfortunately for me, been lights out for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Dolander's doing his best out in Colorado.
Yeah, he's Beck. His bat's hot. How many did we say the other day? We got 9.
9 guys?
9 guys from the Vitello era have made their MLB debuts.
Do you ever think you'd see it, Phil?
No. But I don't really care much if they win or lose. Football and basketball is what I'm focused on. It don't upset me one bit when they get beat.
Tennessee baseball doesn't?
I hope they win, but I'm not emotionally tied to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after they brought us a national title?
Well, I mean, I'm happy they did. So like the Lady Vols got some national championships in basketball.
Yeah.
For several. And then track teams won about 10 national championships. I mean, you know, it's fine and dandy, but in the end, the 2 revenue sports are all that matters over there.
Yeah, there was.
I hope we don't screw them up. You know what I mean?
It is true. There was a little bit of football news today, a little feel-good news. You guys see West High Zone J.P. Peace, grandson of the Philip Fulmer, committing to Tennessee.
I was going to ask Barry about that. The battle captain's grandson.
Yeah.
Sandy Gray?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Robert Peace's kid. I mean, genetically speaking, yeah, I think he's got a pretty good hand he's been dealt. Grandson of Fulmer, who's an all-SEC lineman, and his dad was incredible. And his mom, I can't remember which one of Coach Fulmer's daughters is his mom, but they were both, if I'm not mistaken, they were both athletes. I think one was a diver at UT. So
yeah, one played softball too, right?
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
I expect big things out of JP when he finally makes it over to Tennessee. I know that we hosted.
We hosted a couple guys this last
was
weekend.
Jason Witten's son?
Yes, he was there.
Yeah, in this weekend. Phil, Russell's already made his feelings known on social media. We had Charles Woodson's son in on a visit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. That'd be a complete 180, wouldn't it?
I mean, Russell feels like that he would still need to apologize for stealing Peyton's Heisman Trophy, which I think that's a little extreme.
Well, I can't blame it on Charles Woodson. I blame it on ESPN. ESPN's when created the Peyton Manning fiasco that kept him getting the Heisman Trophy.
That was back when you couldn't win the Heisman without you had to beat Florida, apparently.
Pretty much.
So the thing that always irritated me about that is we had guys in our one in particular in our secondary who I think had better numbers than Woodson did. He just didn't play offense like Woodson did that year, so because he got hurt in camp. But I've seen the film of him playing wide receiver, the DB. So he was
good.
Well, yeah, it was Terry Fair. And then I think he got former host of the Drive, but he got
yeah, Terry Fair was a good player.
He almost went. He was going to go both ways, and then I think must have gotten dinged up. I can't remember exactly what ended that experiment. So, but he didn't. I mean, he ended up doing just fine. First round draft pick of the Detroit Lions.
Has Baskerville or anybody over at the station gone over and seen Barnes' practices yet?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. I know that we will have a special guest host on Wednesday that will probably be able to speak to that. But no, I haven't seen a whole lot. We talked about it a little bit last week. We started seeing that the boys were in the gym and the guys were working out. I know that one guy, the big that came in.
Vandy?
No, they've got high hopes for him.
Yeah.
Ament?
No, not Nate Ament. Who is the guy? Who was the kid from Vanderbilt? I'm drawing a blank.
I can't. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Jalen
Carey.
Jalen Carey. Yeah. No,
I like Carey. He's. I think he'll help them. Really, the strength of their team is going to be inside. Now, I don't know what they're going to do at the guard situation. I don't know who's going to be their shooting guard. It looks to me like a pretty good team, except they don't have a shooting guard.
We'll see, because it does not look like there's going to be any movement at all. In fact, it pretty much looks donezo for Gainey or Ziegler to get an extra year eligibility.
Yeah, well, I'm it's time for them to move on. Let's get some young guys and hope they can coach them up.
Well, I mean, he usually does. The next time we have really poor guard play will be the first time in years out of him. I mean, he seems to just reload every year now. It will be a much different-looking Tennessee basketball team.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I hope we can beat Syracuse in football, because that's not going to be an easy game.
That's true. We play him in both sports.
Yeah, this is a one-year, Phil, where I almost wish we opened with like an ETSU, especially since, with Nico leaving, whatever happened there, and, Merklinger and Aguilar battling it out.
And we got Georgia's the third game of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've seen Georgia that earlier in the year.
Yeah. I wonder if the results are going to stay the same, though.
There's no telling.
It's like taking candy from a baby hopple against Kirby Smart.
Well, we'll see. You talked about losing a lot of talent off that baseball team. Georgia's kind of
in a similar boat.
Yeah, I mean, is they really going to I wasn't that impressed with Gunnar Stockton last year after the starter went down. Carson Beck. That was a pretty big spot to expect a kid to make his first start. You know, in the college football playoffs.
A bad quarterback. I mean, I guess it's a chance to win then. Do we have a quarterback? That's going to be their story, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. It's about time for a break. See you.
He was right.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
He is absolutely right. So that'll do it for hour number 1 on The Drive. We have Jace Brown in next with your top 4 at 4. And you have been listening to The Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871 and go Vols.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try.
He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves Morning Update. Presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves fall to the Rockies on Sunday. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network Morning Update.
Get clean car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for more information.
Braves dropped Game 3 to the Rockies 10-1 on Sunday afternoon. Gave up 9 runs over the final 3 innings. Grant Holmes got the loss, but he notched a career-high 15 strikeouts in the game.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. That's a new record. It's the 15th K for Holmes to go with the 19 put together by the Braves staff yesterday.
Going only 6 1/3, so a fantastic performance from Grant Holmes despite the loss. The Braves are off on Monday. They'll play the Mets on Tuesday. It'll be a very, very interesting pitching matchup as the Braves will start Spencer Schwellenbach. He's 5-4, has a 3.11 ERA, 84 strikeouts, 14 walks, and a 1.00 whip. David Peterson going for the Rockies. He's 5-2, has a 2.49 ERA, 21 strikeouts, 25 walks, and a 1.19 whip. First pitch coming your way, 7:15 Eastern time. We'll start with the Ford Leadoff Show at 6 Eastern right here on the Braves Radio Network.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Good afternoon. It's gotten heavier through downtown Knoxville as we check it out live here on 40 West at 17th Street. It's building over there, I-40 up by Hall of Fame. Continuing out on the east side there on I-40 at the Holston River Bridge. All that traffic pushing out through Sevier County up into Jefferson County. Lots of radar in Jeff County this afternoon. Hey, turn your gold and silver coins into cash at Fountain City Jewelers. They're conveniently located in the heart of Fountain City right there next to Litton's. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's time for the Drive's Top 4 at 4.
Hour number 2 starts now on the Drive. Bring in Jace Brown with the top 4 at 4. Jace, what do you have for us?
Thank you. At number 1, some Tennessee baseball portal information both in and out of the portal yesterday. Star Bowling Green catcher and outfielder Garrett Wright committed to Tennessee baseball Sunday night. A trusted source told RTI Wright became the Vols' 4th commit in their transfer class to date. And earlier today, Tennessee baseball left-handed pitcher Dylan Loy intends to enter the transfer portal. Go Vols 247's Ben McKee first reported. Loy enters the portal after 2 seasons at Tennessee with 2 years of eligibility remaining. And Loy's departure from Tennessee is a surprising one, as the Pigeon Forge native was one of the Vols' top bullpen arms in 2025.
So do we think this really came as a big shock to Tony, or do you think that...
I mean, for how much he was given to Loy this year, like how many times he leaned on Loy throughout the year. I mean, he was a starter in the midweek early in the year and eventually made his way to the weekend bullpen rotation. I would absolutely be shell-shocked.
I don't know if he was shocked. I mean, I feel like Tony V is the type of guy. He's got his finger on the pulse everywhere in his program, and you know, he's already brought in 4 right-handed pitchers up to this point in the transfer portal. Like we talked about with Foster, we are going to need to see probably some lefties come in still in the portal, but, you know, I can't imagine this took him completely by surprise.
At number 2, the College World Series continues this week, even including some action today. Right now, in the bottom of the 7th now, the Arkansas Razorbacks are on top of the Murray State Racers 3-0, no outs there in the bottom of the 7th. And later tonight at 7 o'clock, LSU takes on UCLA, both 2 of the 16 national seeds at the start of tournament play. The winner there is 1 win away from the championship series.
Yeah, I mean, currently Arkansas starter, I believe his name is Gage Wood.
Yeah.
Working on a perfect game through 6 innings.
Okay, so the loser of tonight's LSU UCLA matchup
Yes.
will play the winner of this game.
Yes, correct.
Believe so. Yes. In an elimination game.
And then the winner of that will play LSU to go.
They'd have to beat them twice.
Yeah, they'd have to beat them
LSU
twice.
Yeah.
And then Coastal, they won twice, so they have 2 days off, and they will play. Is it the winner of this game they'll play?
No, it'll be the winner of
Tomorrow's
Louisville
game?
and Oregon State.
Okay.
They'll
Makes
play
sense.
the winner of that one.
Yeah. You hate to see it for the Arizona Wildcats not getting even a game in Omaha. It's
Don't
just,
be petty,
That's just
Walker.
tough.
Don't-
it's tough. You know,
don't be
I
petty.
hate-
Hey, some of those guys played their last ever game of baseball.
You're right, and they, they're just kids, but you just hate to see it.
That's a bad look for you. That's a really bad look for you, Walker. Being that petty. I mean,
course.
seriously, dude.
We're not. Yeah, we never do anything petty around here.
No, the rest of us do. But
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
for you to jump in here, I mean, that's absolutely shocking.
We were talking about
like
the
2,000
College World
miles away.
Series.
Tell everybody where you went to college.
Arizona State. I wear my badges of honor on my sleeve.
That's like me running down Kentucky or Vanderbilt or whoever. It's just
Yes, because
people expect it out of me. I mean, you're a trained Big J journalist, Walker. Shouldn't get in the mud with me and Russ and the rest of us.
At number 3, New York Yankees designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton is expected to come off the injured list today to make his season debut against the Los Angeles Angels, sources confirmed to ESPN, giving the club a surprise or a surplus of lineup options 70 games into the season. Stanton was sidelined through Sunday with tendon injuries in both elbows. He played in 2024 despite joint pain, including through a postseason in which he clubbed 7 home runs in 14 games.
Wonder how many years has he been in the league now?
It feels like forever.
A long time.
I wonder if we're starting to see the wind down.
I think so, because I remember when I think it had to be around 2011, 2012 when he sort of burst onto the scene, and a couple years later he was like headlining all the home run derbies for years and was a huge hit for all of those. I still remember the season that I think it was the 2016 season. That summer my family and I were going up to Chicago, and we were going to see the Marlins whenever he was on the Marlins play the Cubs. About a week before we got up there, he takes a fastball to the face and is out for the rest of the year.
That.
So, yeah, and he was on pace to hit like 63 home runs that year. So we got.
We're glad to have him back in the Yankees lineup. I don't know if it would have helped much this weekend. Garrett Crochet was dealing.
Yeah.
Judge did get a homer off of him finally.
Yeah, Judge did go. I believe it was not a great weekend for Aaron Judge. To say
no, it's not a good weekend for Yankees or Yankees fans. We'll move right along to
and yet somehow you guys come out feeling better about your team than the Red Sox did.
We always do. You know why? Because we're the New York Yankees and they're the Boston Red Sox.
And at number 4, Joey Chestnut, competitive eating legend, announced today that he is returning to the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest after a one-year hiatus from the annual 4th of July event.
Let's go.
Chestnut, the 16-time champion, missed last year's event because of a dispute with Major League Eating over his sponsorship deal with Impossible Foods, a company that makes plant-based hot dogs.
I mean, this is just music to my ears. I mean, we need this guy. We need this guy every year until he doesn't want to do it.
I think it's nauseating to watch those people do that stuff.
I mean, I'm not against you there, but what's more American than Joey Chestnut down in 70 hot dogs
on the 4th of July?
On the 4th of July in Coney Island.
This is like we need this on the 4th of July. Like last year, 4th of July felt like something
empty.
was missing without him, and it'll be good to see him. You know, the greatest to ever eat, back out there doing his thing.
Yeah, I don't have a lot for this.
You just can't get past how gross it is.
Yeah, it's just gross.
How many do you think you could eat in 10 minutes?
Now, at my age?
In your prime. Let's say if in your prime versus Joey Chestnut in his prime.
I'm still in my prime.
I'm talking about prime eating, you know. Whenever you could eat and not have to think about it.
Oh, yeah, when I was in my 20s, you mean? Like teenager in my 20s?
Right.
Most hot dogs I've ever eaten in like one I took down a half a dozen of Storm & Norman Vol Market number 3. I've eaten 6 of those at one sitting before.
That's a good number.
Cheese, chili, onions, the whole 9 yards.
Oh. Jace, could you do the 999 challenge?
I think I could get through it, but I'd probably pay for it about an hour and a half after.
Yeah.
I think I'd be able to do it.
I could do the hot dog part of it, no problem.
You could eat 9 hot dogs in 9 innings?
Yeah. I mean, no problem.
Couldn't do the 9 beers, though.
No.
That would definitely be the harder part.
Unless you got
9 beers is the harder part?
I think so.
Unless you've got thick skin and bail money, it's not a good idea for me to drink 9 beers. It's been so long since drank. You know, we went to Butler's wedding.
Yeah.
And it's been so long since I've actually drank beer or drank period that I'm all of a sudden now, for the first time in my life, a very cheap drunk.
It's good.
Drink 2, 3, maybe 4, and next thing I know,
good.
It's a little bit smashed.
Saves a lot of money if you don't need to get a lot to get drunk. It's good.
Well, that's the other thing. It saves a lot of money when you're traveling. Like a lot of like I budget money differently on my trips because I'm not going to drink on my trip. That frees up a lot of.
That's a lot of money.
Of
be going towards other stuff.
Exactly.
Like that's, I mean, just like an alcohol bill. That's
Stay
like
at
a
a-
full day's or 2 days worth of meals you could put that money
that,
to.
and you can, just everything. You might stay at a nicer hotel, eat at better restaurants. You don't have to worry about paying your beer, wine, and liquor off. So, pretty solid, Jace. That's a top 4 at 4. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Nothing too weird.
Not yet.
We'll get there.
No, I'm sure we will.
I wonder if he's got something special queued up for the couple days he's here without Russell, knowing that might just be no holes barred.
It doesn't
from
matter if
Jason's stories.
Russell's here or not. I mean, he's gonna steal Russell's docket stories. He's gonna try and find the weirdest kicker for the 5 o'clock hour.
I wonder if he's just like he's turned it up a notch this week.
I mean, how can you turn it up a notch from 100? When you're already at 11.
Okay, as of recent, they haven't been as bad.
That's what I'm saying.
The
like,
end of last week was different, but like the 2 weeks prior to that, not that bad.
I wasn't here Friday. What was the story you had last Friday?
It was a guy standing on a gas station with a machete.
Yeah, that's not
and
too
he
bad.
threw pee at like firefighters.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's kind of weird here. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we'll have Outkick's Trey Wallace on with us. Going to be talking about a couple of different things. What am I doing? The College World Series. We've got an update to, I think it was Friday's docket story, or it may have been the story that Jay stole. Florida freshman Stephon Shivers has been dismissed from the football program.
Whoa.
Following felony dating violence charge. We'll find out all about that with Trey, amongst other things. The Texas Tech, I think Trey's kind of kept his finger on the he kind of knows what's going on with the Texas Tech
NIL loophole thing.
Tampering with Lady Vols softball.
I would like to hear what he says about that, and what Walker was just saying about the loophole that they found within the House settlement.
Yeah, and they're going to have a really hard time because these deals will completely bypass NIL because it's not. And Trey hopefully will be able to explain it just a little bit better. It's not you don't have to spell anything out, name, image, and likeness. You can just apparently sign somebody on a personal services contract, and they don't have to. That apparently wouldn't have to go through NIL. So, I mean, Russ didn't completely get an "I told you so" for last week, but I really thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult for them to find a loophole in this whole thing.
I mean,
is it just a verbiage thing? Is it?
I'm not sure. These are all questions we're getting ready to ask Trey. I still stand by my statement that a lot of the trouble and when the government was when they figured out all this money was changing hands without any kind of tax being paid on it. Like the feds, they don't care if the kids are getting paid.
Yeah, they just want their cut.
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to get across. And maybe I didn't do a very good job of it last week. But regardless, we will have Trey Wallace coming on here in just a few minutes to catch us up on all that and explain some of this stuff that's going on with that and how that'll affect the House settlement and all the things that are going on with college athletics right now.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it. Like you said, wouldn't it be a little harder to find a loophole in this thing? But when you think about it, like, I don't know how many pages or how big this settlement is, but there's just so many unknowns to all this stuff, and there's so many rules they still have to make about it in the weeds and the details. Like, I'm surprised there haven't been more loopholes that have been found up to this point, given that I'm sure schools have people on staff that have been breaking this thing down to a point beyond scientific.
Yeah, they're combing through it to find it. So this is how I think the days of the McDonald's bags are gone. They'll find a loophole But I don't think we're going to have any more just like bags of cash passing hands. I think they'll find a legal loophole for it and keep everybody on the up and up and paying all the taxes on all this money, because it's not an insignificant amount.
Yeah,
so.
It'll definitely, if it is shady whatsoever, it's going to be a more sophisticated version of shady instead of just, dealing in McDonald's bags. It's going to be
poker chips from Tunica and all the other ways that colleges have been funneling money to players going all the way back to 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Was when it really the early 80s, SMU, the Pony Express.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma, Alabama. I mean, the powerhouse schools that have always kind of funneled money to players. So we dabbled in it.
Before we get into Trey, I looked it up quickly, the SI story about the loophole in NIL and recruiting. Basically, it's like the NCAA, they didn't think about a rule like they say that head coaches at universities can't actively go in and tamper, but there's not a rule against third-party investors going in and doing that for them, which sounds like that's basically what happened with our girl going over to Texas Tech.
Pennell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something else. They've got to get their
there got to be
rules.
There's got to be rules. It's just the Wild West that keeps getting. The Wild West keeps getting bigger and bigger when they're adding more stuff and making more stuff legal, and feels like they're adding more without making rules to go along with it.
Well, we will get into that and more with Trey Wallace coming up next here on The Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard, the barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Merritt Garage Door and Services has been serving East Tennessee since 1963. At Merritt, quite simply, the customer comes first. Their door specialists will not try to needlessly upsell you because they are not commission-based like other places. This allows them to focus on your needs and not their pockets. They offer a range of beautiful garage doors in a variety of styles to suit the architecture of your home, and they will supply and install a wide range of garage door openers and accessories to take your door to the next level. To request a quote or schedule a service repair call, visit merrittgaragedoor.com.
Do you love to gamble? Do you enjoy listening to people talk about gambling? Well, then I have some good news for you. Every weeknight at 6 p.m., you can hear John Reed and William Pattison go over the slate, thanks to our friends at VIP Play. Sports topics aren't always black and white, but on the slate, they are always green. Nothing but trends, angles, and bets to try to make you some money. The Slate, presented by VIP Sports on Fan Run Radio, weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m.
Showers and storms continue to roll their way on in from west to east, and that's really going to be the story over the next several days, with forecast highs topping out in the low to mid-80s. However, this weekend, we're talking highs in the 90s. This forecast is brought to you by Master Battery. Listen, they've got the best prices in town guaranteed. They've been here for more than 40 years, and they have what you need when you need it. Give them a call today, 865-947-1500. That's your latest forecast. For regular updates, check in with the East Tennessee Weather app or online at easttnweather.com. From the East Tennessee Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Witcher for Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Good afternoon. Watching it build with more volume at Cedar Bluff right at the interstate. It's also heavy on 40 east and westbound. As you come past 640 Paper Mill Road, all this traffic that continues to build here in West Knoxville. Heavy on that Solway Bridge trying to get out of the Oak Ridge area. Lots of radar this afternoon, at least it was earlier, to the north. Be careful of 75, especially north of the Rocky Top exit through that section of Anderson County. AMCO Transmission serving East Tennessee since 1962. Call AMCO Transmissions in Knoxville 832-8686. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into the drive. Bear, Jace, and Walker Smith. Russ has got the day off, but we are pleased to be joined now by former member of the drive, former host of It's Optional, Trey Wallace from Outkick. Trey, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I am locked into the College World Series right now. I cannot believe that's how the perfect game ended, but I'm not going to say the other because it's still going on right now. But wow, what a performance from, and I know folks in this area aren't going to like it, but Arkansas pitcher Gage Wood is throwing absolute heat today.
Has he still got his perfect game going?
Nope, he just hit him in the foot.
Like, was it a curveball that bounced and
Yeah,
barely
he was
scraped
throwing
it?
a breaking ball that was down. It literally, I mean, it was in the dirt, and
Oh,
it hit the
man.
batter at the same time. Yeah.
Like
so
right
we still
off
got
the-
we still got the other one going. Not going to say it. Still got the other one going. But man, what a horrible way to get rid of a perfect game. That stinks. How are you guys?
Not doing too bad. Boss man's not around, so
Sounds about right.
yeah, we're it's a little bit more laid back today. But
Not much going on in Knoxville lately, huh?
Oh.
Not former wide receivers out here scheming everybody, and
was he a wide receiver?
somehow-
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pick your poison, Trey. We can either start with the fact that they've, in under a week, have found a loophole to NIL, or the Grant Ferking situation. You pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think the NIL thing and where we're going with this one, guys, is there was always going to be a hard time for them to kind of regulate how these boosters and how boosters want to fund some of the players on the team, especially if they're star players above the salary cap and whatnot. And I wrote about it. I spoke with a number of different ADs and even boosters of powerful football programs. And, one of the things that was thrown out there to me, which I wrote about on Friday, was, look, if you've got, let's just say you've got somebody in Knoxville that is a booster that wants to pay $2 million to help out a player, meaning pay for their salary. But can't just come out and give that player the money. Okay, so then turns around and says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this to a local business in the Knoxville area. That business is going to put on a commercial, have them out for a signing, do whatever. And they're going to pay him the money that the booster had given that business. Well, this new College Sports Commission, guys, has as much subpoena power as the NCAA had. Zero. So what are you going to do to stop instances like this of happening? Because the biggest thing, too, Bear, is that what is a fair market value for a player? If Arch Manning goes out and signs a $4 million deal with Dr. Pepper, okay, well, that's Arch Manning. So what is the fair market value for other players around the country? I think that's what's standing out the most to the people around college sports right now is how do you come up with this, Bear? And it is a problem because you can't tell, you can't tell the starting quarterback at Tennessee that he's not worth the same amount as a starting quarterback at USC. So how these boosters go about doing this, knowing that the boosters are going to be the ones that are going to have to pay up, guys. Like, they can find NIL deals all they want, but when you have a roster in the rev share let's just say Tennessee's getting $16 million to put towards a football roster. Okay, well, you got to go find $20 million more to be able to actually take care of your roster. So where are you going to find that? You got to find it in boosters. You got to find some kind of NIL deals. And if we're being honest with each other, there are not a lot of players on Tennessee's roster this year that can go out and be, an advertiser or for an ad campaign for a major company that is a noteworthy name. And maybe you disagree with me on that. But
No. I think the problem is there's only a handful of those kids in college football.
I don't disagree.
And Arch Manning's, quite frankly, Trey, has very little to do with what he's done on the field, which isn't much. Not saying he won't,
Correct.
but it has more to do with the fact his last name's Manning.
I don't disagree with you on that. But at the same time, you've got a monster of a machine in the Texas Longhorns, that are also out there pushing what needs to be pushed, the right buttons when it comes to trying to sell. And look, it also helps when you're a program that's been fighting for national championships recently. And I think so. So, yeah, there are not a lot of Jeremiah Smiths out there. There's not a lot of Arch, even though Arch hasn't played. Yes, I agree with you on the namesake of it and whatnot. And I could go on and on with list of players, but there are going to be loopholes. And guys, like, how many NIL deals are under $600? Well, I could probably count them on my one hand. So if you got an NIL deal that is submitted to the system that is $600.50, it has to be approved. And so then it's only going to lead to litigation. Arbitration is what this College Sports Commission is calling it, NIL Go. But it's going to lead to arguments, it's going to be to lawsuits. And at the same time, these programs are having to find ways to pay these players, man. And again, you can't just play them off what you're getting from the rev share. I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me.
Yeah, me as well, Trey. I just, Russ and I have been debating it for weeks. Russ said it would just go back to being, McDonald's bags. I don't think they can go back to that. Simply, what I said last week is because the IRS is closely watching all these deals, and they're going to want their taxes on it because it's income.
Yeah.
And then I just keep coming back to, and they kind of, I don't know if they completely backed away from the statement, but Donde Plowman and Danny White said it best. I agreed with them, Tom. I still think they were right as we sit here today until the NCAA or whoever it is enters into some kind of collective bargaining agreement with the players, and they set up something that cannot be sued in court over and set salaries and for position and this and that. We're not going to get away from this. Am I wrong?
No, you're not, and it's going to get to collective bargaining down the road, in my opinion. I think 3 years from now we're in the collective bargaining stage of this. I really do. So, what does that look like? I have no idea. But at the same time, you got to have a player representative at the table when they're going over these deals and whatnot. You just do. So I think that's where we're headed. I think college athletics, continuing to change. I don't know about the CFP. I think we're going to find out some more information over the next 2 days as CFP leaders and commissioners will meet in Asheville, North Carolina at the Biltmore starting tomorrow through Thursday morning. They'll present strength of schedule metrics. They'll present probably a format plan for what a 16-team playoff can look like. But at the same time, when you have the Big Ten, it's sitting there and doesn't agree with having, 11 at-large spots. And they want their 4 automatic bids. What I'm getting at is that everything continues to change. And so it's going to be fascinating to me how far this plays out and in college sports in general, too. Don't forget, Bear, about Title IX. This is going to be another problem. I mean, as we're on the phone right now, man, there's been another lawsuit filed. An objection filed to the House settlement regarding Title IX. And so, again, I just feel like we are headed down a road where there are not a lot of answers. And again, kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and that would be, the new CSC is what they call it.
Yeah, I just assume that this stuff is going to wind up back in court, especially the title. I still have yet to hear anybody that's going to explain how they're going to get around Title IX with the revenue sharing. I mean,
well, again, I think it's going to be an easy point to make, in my opinion, about how men's athletes are making more money than women's athletes, and I get that part, and blah, 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 so they should get a bigger share out of it. But at the end of the day, man, you look at what other sports are doing, other schools. I think you're starting to see a shift a little bit. Look what Texas Tech is doing in softball right now, man.
Yeah.
Like, they are loading up on players, and they're not scared to spend money. That's going to be like an $8 million softball roster, guys.
That's just completely insane. I'd heard that it was close to 7 figures for the gal.
Oh, it's large.
They tampered with.
Just think about it. You're giving 1.2 to one player. Okay, well, they brought in 5 all-stars. That number I've told could hover around 7 once they're completely done. And by the way, I don't blame these players for getting paid. I really don't. I don't agree with some of these players, as that report stated, signing contracts with other schools in April. I understand you got to front load deals and you got to get them there and you got to get this money off the books and whatnot, but there's better ways to do it. So that part I don't agree with. So it is what it is, man. We're in for some wild things over the next year, and I think we're just scratching the surface.
So in your mind, like, what's the next step to maybe trying to rein in what's the wild, wild west of college sports right now in NIL with NIL Go and this loophole that's been found?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, how do you stop something that's been going on for years? I mean, guys, I honestly feel like we're going back to the pre-NIL era. And I'm not talking about, bags being dropped off at the back porch of a house or hotel parking lots and whatnot, but I do feel like at the same time, boosters are going to find a way to get these players money, and the school is going to find a way for this stuff to happen. And I don't know how they put a stranglehold on it, because cat's already out of the bag, boys. Like, we know how this stuff is done now. You're going to tell boosters, hey, you got to stop paying this kid and whatnot? Like, it's just not happening. So does it work through third party now? Again, like, does it continue going through the third party collectives? Like, these collectives aren't going anywhere. So to me, that's the biggest thing that stands out to me in the long run is how do they even playing field is probably the wrong way to put it, but how do they keep some teams from going out and spending $50 million on a roster while some are spending $30 million on a roster? So it just depends on what kind of rules you can put in place. So we'll see if this NIL Go thing works in this Delati computer system, as they like to call it. But I feel like we're heading down a pretty far rabbit hole of things that could go wrong.
All right, Trey, shifting gears a little bit here. Wanted to get your take real quick on how much – so what kind of – is there potential trouble from the fallout with the Grant Frierking allegations and everything that's going on with him that could affect Tennessee?
So here's the way I look at it with Grant Frierking. I'm going to try to not mince my words here, but – this is a very, very bad look for Josh Heupel in the University of Tennessee. And here's your reason why. I'm not talking about the schemes that he was doing and whatnot with the pine straw. And I'm going to keep saying alleged, okay? So let's just paraphrase this whole conversation as me saying alleged at the start of it.
Okay.
All right. So when you have somebody that is the face of your NIL department working for a media company, and this is, I mean, this is no shot to On3. I talked to Shannon Terry about this. He says he did not know. I believe him. But when you have somebody that's putting on these NIL elite events, okay, traveling around to different schools, promoting the NIL department for your company, while at the same time you're under contract for the University of Tennessee, and this could be any university, by the way, any university, but you're under contract with the university to be a consultant to the head coach and also help out with recruiting. How does that look to the rest of the country? Doesn't look good. Like there's always been this thing, that certain schools are favored over other schools, when it comes to recruiting and the rankings and whatnot. So I have to look on paper. It looks like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, one of your employees working for Tennessee that was helping run the NIL department at a media company. So what I'm getting at is Grant Perkins did a lot of damage to his image. It's going to take a lot to come back from. Grant Perkins was always on the sidelines of football games. If they were road games, he was on the sideline. Home games, he was on the sideline. You got to be put on a list to do that, by the way. Like, you can't just show up and get a sideline bench pass. Like, you got to be put on a list. So the fact that this was kind of hidden for 2 years, because it was hidden, Grant Perkins didn't make it known to On3 that he was working for Tennessee. And at the same time, Tennessee really didn't say anything at all. I mean, he was just there. And there were people, let me put this in the right category too. There were people inside the athletic department in Tennessee that had no idea this was going on and that he was actually working for the University of Tennessee and had a contract. No idea. So you're going to pay this young man $30,000 and that money could go elsewhere to other employees, and the guy really just shows up for a couple events and gets a discount on renting Neyland Stadium, or
how much does it cost to rent Neyland?
It only cost him about $1,300. I got the receipt. I had to pull it up on my computer. I think it was about $1,300 to rent out the terrace right there inside Neyland Stadium for like 3 hours.
That seems pretty cheap.
He held a big birthday party and whatnot. At the end of the day, guys, this just looks bad.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot of problems in front of him. There are 2 police reports that have been filed, complaints against him that I've seen. I expect more of those over the coming weeks. And Tennessee's going to do their best to distance himself from this. Will Josh Heupel get asked about it at media days? Sure. But what's Josh Heupel going to say? You know what I mean? Like, there's not much he can say about it.
No, I wonder if the first question is going to be about that, or if I'm just assuming he's going to get a lot of questions about Nico.
Yeah, he's going to get questions about Nico.
That he probably will not answer satisfactorily.
Correct. But at the same time, I think that's why you haven't seen a statement from Tennessee. You won't see a statement from Tennessee. And I think that, it took some nudging even to get the contract, from Tennessee for him. So it's just a wild story in general. And for somebody that I've got to know over the last few years, Baird, I wrote a story about him.
We had him on the
7
show
years ago, right? So it's so weird to see. It really is. The whole thing is crazy. It reminds me of Billy McFarland from Firefest, where he just kept going back to people and asking for more money to invest. It really did. And then the fact that you tried to get some of your teammates in, former teammates in to help out with loans and whatnot. So just pure craziness, the best way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know what's the weirder part about. I've never been able to figure out. Nobody asked me for money, so I've got a pretty. If it's a friend or a family member and they're in a jam, you loan them some money, but just I don't understand the just random going up to like guys he used to play with you got to have a wheelbarrow to carry around your cojones when you go asking somebody for 10 grand. I don't care if they are an NFL player.
No, and that's
or
the
hyper
crazy part about it. Yeah, and that's something that you now have to live with for the rest of your life. So tough all-around thing, buddy. It really is, and never a dull day in college athletics, especially in Knoxville, as we are 2 strikes away from the 3rd ever no-hitter in college World Series history, boys. I can't believe I just said it, too.
I was
Dang
about
it.
to say, you might not want to say
Who's the pitcher that's dealing for them
Gage
today?
Wood.
Wood, did we face him?
Yeah.
It was Root and
Faced
Wood.
him on the Saturday, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah, they
man.
unfortunately remind me of us last year, except that they did lose to LSU.
Gosh.
Yeah.
18 strikeouts with 1 out left.
That's unreal.
Jeez.
Crazy day, boys. So that's what I'm about to get to start doing and writing. So if he can pull this off, but yeah, there it is. Wow, unbelievable performance.
Perfect day.
College World Series history. Gage Wood has thrown a no-hitter. What an incredible day. I know fans across this area won't appreciate it as much, but if you're a baseball fan, what he just did,
That's
was
nuts.
But they're still going to have to beat the winner of LSU or UCLA twice to.
That's correct. Yeah.
Deck's pretty stacked against you. All right, Trey. Well, we appreciate all your time. You want to tell everybody where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Follow me on X, Twitter, at Trey Wallace _. Follow my work at Outkick.com. We'll have you covered for the next couple of days as the College Football Playoff Committee meets and we look at the future, boys. Hope I had a good time. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of the week without the head boss man there. Y'all don't get in too much trouble, okay?
Not planning on it. We're gonna keep the ship, keep the ship afloat, train on the rails, whatever way you want to describe it. Thank you so much, Trey, and look forward to talking to you again soon, my man.
Be good, my brother. Thanks for having me.
Yep, that was Trey Wallace from Outkick.
Always a good time talking to him.
Yeah, always. I used to be. It was wild back in the day. Trey was with us during COVID.
Oh,
so
the dark days.
Kind of overlapped. Yeah, Trey joined. He joined the drive. I want to say in like maybe 2019, and 2020, and then part of 21. He left pretty early on, and 21 and went on over to RTI. But yeah, those were some wild days doing radio. There was nothing to talk about sports wise.
Yeah.
So it was me and Russ and Trey, and we would get on, take calls, and
talk about whatever was on your mind.
Yeah, that's when Coach Vitello used to come on with us.
Wouldn't you guys do like movie reviews with him or album
we did
reviews with him?
a game called Jam or Not a Jam, and
That's a great name.
That's a good one.
But I mean, it was like I think it was maybe every other week. I don't think we had him on every week, but yeah, we just get him on and we just talk about music, movies, pop culture, life, everything. But there was absolutely no sports to talk about that spring. So, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our last break of hour number 2, and we will be right back to close out hour number 2 after these messages. You're listening to Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation, Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Citizens National Bank. You want a bank that lets you bank when and where you want to. Your local branch, the grocery store, your computer, your phone, it's up to you. You want people who care about taking care of you and your money too. Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Here's more with Dr. Stephen Malone of Knoxville Smiles.
So I've been in dentistry for about 30 years, and I've watched a lot of things change where we used to do things by analog. We used a calendar to make appointments, and we didn't really have computers, and we used film and not sensors to get images. Things have changed a lot. Well, it's still changing. We have a lot of things that are in dentistry today that make it more convenient for patients, like online scheduling and Invisalign. Instead of putting brackets and wires in your mouth, you can use these trays, and those things are all done with computers. Now we're actually planning implants with computers, and we're making our crowns with computers and CAD/CAM systems and milling systems. All of these things are new in dentistry, and it keeps changing. So if you look at dentistry today, it's not what you had 25 years ago. We're much more health-oriented, so try to find a dentist that's trying to use technology to your advantage and keep you healthy.
Contact Knoxville Smiles today at 865-539-1776 to set up an appointment or go online to knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Good afternoon, T-Dot. Still assisting with a couple of wrecks. Watching it build pretty good on Pillsbury Parkway as you come past North Shore. All that traffic headed out towards the Blood County area. They are on Pillsbury Parkway, heavy through downtown. 40 West at 17th Street. Stop and go Kingston Pike, especially at downtown West Boulevard. Hey, turn your gold and silver coins into cash. Where? Fountain City Jewelers, located in the heart of Fountain City, right next to Litton's. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into the drive. We're having some technical difficulties right now. We're going to get on top of those. Wrapping up hour number 2. We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines for the rest of the show, 865-966-3435. You can call or text to interact with us. And let's take a look at the text box real quick, see what we've got going on in there today. Well, hold on, just everything's going sideways for us right now here.
We shouldn't just breeze by this Gage Wood
we got
no hitter that just got thrown.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm not going to sit here and fanboy out over Arkansas. They sent us home. Coach Fulmer had 3 daughters. Bear Robert Peace married the one that actually didn't play any sports.
Oh, interesting.
At UT, did not know that. I had another texter write in. You should tell it like it is. Tiger was using steroids, and that's why he burnt the courses up.
That's absurd.
That's
absurd.
That's not true.
People being great doesn't always correlate with
no, and he didn't.
Enhancing drugs.
The wild part was he was already dominating golf before he
as a junior.
When the steroids came into play, it had very little to do with golf, and more that. That was during that time where he was training with the Navy SEALs and doing all that stuff. But I mean, he was, especially back when he first hit the tour and was just destroying everything. That wasn't. You can go back and look. He was still skinny then. He was just dismantling these golf courses.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know if there's very few athletes that were as dominant as Tiger Woods was in the 2000s, early 2000s. Like, it was no one had a chance.
No, they didn't. In fact, you get to Sunday with him, and those guys would usually pretty much fold.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, like I said, we are wall-to-wall y'all from here on out, open phone lines till the end of the show. So if you have a question, comment, hot take, call us up. Now you may fanboy out over the Arkansas no-hitter.
Like, I don't want to fanboy out, obviously. They sent us home, but I do want to highlight that Bear said it in the break. It's the first no-hitter in College World Series history in 65 years.
Who was the last one to do it?
I couldn't find it, but that's not nothing. I mean, 119 pitches, 19 strikeouts. You know, like it's pretty significant, to say the least. I mean,
You know who did something?
19 strikeouts.
World Series?
Christian Moore.
Christian Moore. There's only ever been 2 cycles in College World Series history.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Boy, we
rare.
were so damn good last year.
Oh,
yeah. It's
so hard to-
unbelievable that Simo is already up in the show. Like he was really good here, but hitters so rarely go straight from the draft all the way through the minors up into the majors in their first year.
Where's the kid from Georgia at now? Is that
Georgia, Jack Caglione.
Yeah, Caglione.
He made it up to the majors about a month before. I believe he played for Florida.
Yeah, Caglione for Florida. You're thinking of Charlie Condon.
Condon,
right?
He's not in the majors
Yeah,
yet.
he's still in like high A ball,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Is Caglione, they bring him up as a pitcher or as a...
No, he's a utility player.
He's a
sort of
utility
deal.
player. He's a big dude that just hits bombs.
But, you know,
for
he
Kansas
pitched
City.
for Florida, right?
He did,
I'm not
yes.
Yeah, he
remembering
pitched
that
a
right.
little bit, but
Yeah.
he's going to be used as a batter. I mean, he's got 500-foot home run type of power, and
Who's he with?
Kansas City, the
Kansas City, the
Royals.
Royals.
Yeah. Made his debut against my Cardinals.
I don't think he got
Condon's
hit in that
still
game.
in like Double-A.
High
That
A
or-
or
that or
double A.
high A,
It's
yeah,
low.
he's-
That's what I'm saying. Like these guys, especially hitters, it takes so much longer for them to adapt to major league pitching, and
Wooden bat day in and day out.
you know, maybe like it's the fact that it is the Angels and they don't have anyone good that's not named Mike Trout. But Christian Moore going all the way through the minors that quick is incredible.
I don't know. I mean, their lineup's pretty stout with hitters. I felt like it's what we were talking about last week. I'm still a little baffled as to why you would pull him. I mean, the kid's been on a heater since he joined your organization, and you're going to pull him in place of someone who is literally the worst hitter in the majors.
Yeah, I believe that was Saturday when that happened.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite find exactly who it is, but you know, he was someone who wasn't good.
But it absolutely was really, really cool to see Christian playing second base Friday night, batting ninth.
Oh yeah, no, he knows that everyone in Knoxville is going to be rooting for him. I mean, I got to see him. I was lucky enough. I got to see him hit a bomb in one of the couple games he played here at the Smokies Park that first week, and it was electric. I mean, everyone loves Simo. And I think he's going to be good. I mean, you don't make it all the way through the minors this quick, even on a bad team like the Angels, if you're not like a really good prospect.
Yeah, no. I mean, he was one of the top prospects in the league. It'll be interesting to watch and kind of fun to watch as his career goes along and he develops. Also rooting hard for all the guys that have played here for Vitello and brought us so much joy the past few years. Really rooting for Blake Burt to can't wait to see him get up there.
I'm still waiting for Drew Gilbert, who's been knocking on the door for it feels like
He's just
a
had
year.
he
It's just
just-
weird accidents.
Yeah,
and weird
injuries. You know, he had the.
It's in the Mets organization. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
They just don't have room for him.
I mean, they brought up our old pitcher Blade Tidwell.
Yeah,
like
I saw
about a
that.
month
He had
and
a
half, 2
spot
months
start
ago. Yeah.
a little bit ago. I don't
Mhm.
think they held on to him. I don't
think
remember
so
how
either.
he did. But it's just tough with the Mets there right now. I mean, they got a really good team, and he's going to need to have an opening somewhere or maybe potentially get moved in a prospect deal somewhere. But he'll be in the majors at some point.
Just unbelievable how much. I mean, it's brought me back to Major League Baseball, simply because it's fun seeing guys that you rooted for and cheered for years that wore orange and white, and now they're in the major leagues, and it makes watching these games a lot more fun when you've got guys that you've been rooting for years, and now they're showing up in the major leagues. You know, forever we'd have the Todd Helton,
Yeah.
Hochevar, Burke,
Yeah.
R.A. Dickey back in the day, and a few of these guys. But Not like it is now, where it's
9
like
guys.
every
Man.
time you turn around, there's, you're hearing the announcers talk about Tennessee baseball, and it's really nice. So
It's pretty awesome. I know you guys aren't going to claim him, and I'm seeing him through Reds-colored goggles, but Chase Burns is going to be
we don't
so
claim
good.
him. He left us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't take it personally. That's just me. But I also, again, I'm seeing it through Reds-colored goggles, and he gave us some good memories while he was
If
here.
he played for the Yankees or the Dodgers, you'd hate on him with us.
No,
I
I never
would.
blamed him for leaving. I never have ill intent for guys leaving, except for what happened with Nico situation.
I didn't have that.
I don't know what happened there.
Big a problem. I mean, I can tell you what happened there. His dad wanted more money.
Whatever happened there,
Yeah, no.
That
What happened was they wanted more money.
Milking that cash cow.
But at the expense of not having the foresight to think that, it might hurt him down the road when it comes to the NFL. But
saying, you guys should hop on the Chase Burns train.
Nah. I mean, I was on it while he was here, and then, when you leave,
you're dead to me.
Yeah.
All right. Saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
I mean, we won a championship.
It's going to be lighting up the Cardinals before you know it.
Nah.
Well, that'll do it for hour number 2 of the drive. We've got hour number 3 coming up next. Jace Brown will be in with your top 5 at 5. And you are listening to The Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Every 40 seconds, a child goes missing somewhere in the U.S. You can help in the effort to find missing kids simply by donating your car or boat to Find the Children, a nonprofit organization dedicated to returning missing children to their families. Find the Children works closely with national and community agencies and organizations and helps distribute flyers and posters that are directly responsible for recovering missing kids. Your car or boat donation helps protect and recover children in every state and community by sponsoring child safety and recovery programs. For fast, free pickup, call anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Running or not, your car, truck, van, RV, or boat will be towed away free of charge. Fast, free pickup, plus it's tax deductible. Everyone wins when you donate your car or boat to Find the Children.
Call right now. 800-466-8813. 800-466-8813. That's 800-466-8813.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update. Presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves fall to the Rockies on Sunday. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Get clean car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutospa.com/Braves for more information.
Braves dropped Game 3 to the Rockies 10-1 on Sunday afternoon. Gave up 9 runs over the final 3 innings. Grant Holmes got the loss, but he notched a career-high 15 strikeouts in the game.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. It's a new record. It's the 15th K for Holmes to go with the 19 put together by the Braves staff yesterday.
Going only 6 1/3, so a fantastic performance from Grant Holmes despite the loss. The Braves are off on Monday. They'll play the Mets on Tuesday. It'll be a very, very interesting pitching matchup as the Braves will start Spencer Schwellenbach. He's 5-4, has a 3.11 ERA, 84 strikeouts, 14 walks, and a 1.00 whip. David Peterson going for the Rockies. He's 5-2, has a 2.49 ERA, 21 strikeouts, 25 walks, and a 1.19 whip. First pitch coming your way, 7:15 Eastern time. We'll start with the Ford Leadoff Show at 6 Eastern right here on the Braves Radio Network.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Good afternoon. Still building with more volume through downtown. Right on schedule, actually, on 40 East and westbound. Here at 17th Street, Western Avenue. It's picked up also on Alcoa Highway, especially going outbound this time of the afternoon as you head back into Blount County. Lots of radar to the north today. 75, not only in Anderson, but especially up in the northern section of Campbell County before you get up into Jellicoe Mountain area. Hey, Fountain City Jewelers Wedding Band Weekend. It's coming up June 25th through the 28th. Call for an appointment. Just go by and see them at Fountain City Jewelers next to Litton's. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's time for the Drive's Top 5 at 5.
Quitting time on your Monday, which means Jace Brown will be in with the top 5 at 5. Jace, take it away.
Thank you. At number 1, some Tennessee football recruiting information. Tennessee landed its first commitment in the 2027 recruiting cycle today when Knoxville native J.P. Peace committed to Josh Heupel and his staff. Peace is the son of former Tennessee linebacker Robert Peace and the grandson of Tennessee football coach Philip Fulmer. Tennessee offered Peace last month, and the linebacker chose the Vols over offers from Florida State, Kentucky, Virginia Tech, and others.
Pretty good offer list. I feel like we're probably his best offer.
Yeah, I think out of that, we're sort of the standout. I think depending on how Florida State can turn around after their just disaster of 2024. They were probably close in the. No, they were terrible. DJU.
Yeah, it's tough. But no, it's pretty cool. I mean, the article that On3 wrote about him has said, like, this is a kid who has been dreaming of wearing orange and white since he was born, pretty much, and this is what he wanted to do. And I mean, he's just going into his junior year of high school, so like we're not going to see this guy for 2 more seasons.
Yeah,
which we might. Hopefully, I don't think we're going to forget about him, but we're not going to see him for a while.
Right.
But then again, he's going to be around the program and probably help recruit guys, especially around Knoxville.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty good. It's good to see that he's in there, a little bit of a legacy.
Yeah, it's just good to have somebody in there to sort of, usher some other folks in because it's always easier because, I mean, Faison for the 2026 class has been bolstering the brand pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
George McIntyre was doing it for the 2025 cycle. He was all about getting guys in-house that he wanted to play with, so it's always positive to have guys just like that at least set a standard at the start of the class. At number 2, ESPN released its college football future power rankings late last week, ranking the 67 Power 4 teams along with Notre Dame based on how much success they project them to have over the next 2 seasons. Ranking teams more than 1 year out has become much more difficult in recent seasons due to the emergence of the transfer portal. So what is ESPN using to project their future success? They're using 6 areas: returning quarterback, likelihood of multi-year quarterback on roster, offensive and defensive line outlook, roster management, star power, and coaching staff. With those 6 areas being the criteria, ESPN ranked Tennessee number 9 nationally and number 4 in the SEC in future success. The Vols come in behind SEC foes Texas at number 1, Georgia at number 3, and LSU at number 8. The Vols are ahead of a number of SEC foes, including number 10 Alabama and number 15 Florida.
I don't know if I buy this one.
No?
Nah.
Why not?
We don't have a proven quarterback.
Well, it's not just taking that into effect. That's probably why we're behind LSU, because their current quarterback outlook, at least from this year's standings, probably a little bit better than ours with the Nussmeier kid who's been there. He's been a starter before and played in the SEC, whereas we're sort of lacking in that department.
Yeah, but we also, to me, it's almost as important as, we lost the conference's best running back off last year's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's going to, and this is something that we're going to get into more and more every day, who's going to step up? Who's going to grab a hold of the starting positions, and who's going to replace that production for guys like Dylan Sampson?
Yeah. That is a good sort of question to dive into, is who's going to be that RB1 for us this year?
I think it's going to be Peyton Lewis.
Yeah, if I'd outside looking in, I think Pilu's probably the guy.
Yeah.
At number 3, Shohei Ohtani will make his long-awaited return to pitching Monday night while serving as an opener in a matchup against the division rival San Diego Padres that Dodgers announced last night. Ohtani, who's 21 months removed from a second repair of his ulnar collateral ligament, is expected to throw only 1 inning, perhaps 2, depending on the situation, in what will basically amount to a continuation of his rehab.
This is awesome.
I wonder why they're does he just really love pitching?
Yeah.
That, and he's pretty good. Like, I think his career ERA is like sub-3 since he's been in the majors. He's pretty solid. I mean, he's not going to be your like opening day starter or anything, but he's a guy that you can definitely utilize in your rotation.
This guy, Shohei Ohtani, pretty good.
He's a unicorn.
Pretty good at baseball. I mean, everything I heard about this is that like he went up to the manager, Dave Roberts, and was like, I want to pitch. Because Dave Roberts had been out there talking about, we don't think we'll see him until after the All-Star break. We're taking it really slow. And then clips came out a couple weeks ago of him throwing a bullpen against a couple Dodgers guys. And I guess he was like, yeah, I want my rehab starts to be in the major leagues, whether it's as an opener or what it is. It'll be just awesome to see him out there pitching again. I mean, it's something we almost had never seen before outside of Babe Ruth, but I mean, in this era of baseball, it's something special. And
it's unheard of.
Appointment viewing.
Yeah.
If you like baseball.
I mean, I like baseball, but I'm not going to get all jacked up over a Los Angeles Dodger.
Shohei Ohtani.
I don't care.
This guy's bigger. It's bigger than the game.
No, he's not.
No
one's bigger than the game, my friend.
Shohei Ohtani.
No, he's not. Go ahead, Jace. Be quiet.
At number 4, it's a pivotal Game 5 in the back-and-forth NBA Finals tonight as the Oklahoma City Thunder host the Indiana Pacers with the series tied at 2 games apiece. Tip-off is at 8:30 tonight on ABC. The Thunder is a 9.5-point favorite.
All right, Bear.
Nah.
You don't want to play the game?
No, because I'm going to name the same guys I always name.
You have any takes on the finals you want to get off your chest so far?
None at
4
all,
games?
other than it's incredibly. I just have. I mean, it's just.
Have you watched any of it?
No, it's Indiana and Oklahoma City.
It's very fair. They're 2 of the smallest markets.
But they're really good teams.
Yeah, doesn't do it for me.
All right, I'm just saying. Really good.
Put the Lakers and the Celtics in there. Even the Knicks would have been fun to watch.
Yeah. Would have been great, but
not Oklahoma City and Indiana.
We had to lose to Minnesota.
It's okay. Oklahoma City just casually has best point differential ever, but it's okay. They play in Oklahoma City.
They do. And at number 5, when you gotta go, is what one man probably had in mind when he decided to defecate in the middle of a Detroit shoe store on Sunday.
Oh, God.
And yes, it was caught on camera. An employee of the store turned to social media to find the man who had made a voluntary oopsie, it says, in the shoe aisle. The dump and dash happened on Sunday morning at the Foreman Mills store at 8 Mile. The employee, James Bosquez, witnessed the whole thing. Quote, he came straight into the store and didn't even talk to anybody. Went straight to the shoe aisle, he said. Quote, he didn't even try to hide it. He just pulled down his pants, pooped, didn't even wipe, walked straight out to a car and left.
Oh,
Even
to a car? What
to
did
a car.
Did he not
That's
ask
nuts.
to use the bathroom?
I guess not. Even though the store does have a bathroom, Vasquez told Fox 2 that it has been closed to the public since the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh,
However,
man.
anyone who asks can be allowed to use it. The suspect, however, did not ask before dropping anchor. Quote, he walked in the door at 10:13 and he was out the door at 10:17, Vasquez said. Amazingly enough, the man who...
Seen this pile of crap?
Amazingly, the man had an acquaintance. Quote, the other guy walked into the men's department, and I didn't see anything in the men's department, but it seems like they just came to do this because they didn't talk to anyone, didn't grab anything. Made a beeline straight to the shoe department, used the bathroom, and just left.
So he didn't, the other guy didn't steal anything? Like, that'd be a hell of a diversion.
No, they just split up and reconvened, and the only thing in the middle was...
Does they have no idea who this guy is? Or
No. Suspect is still on
it's
the
a
loose.
phantom pooper, huh?
Phantom pooper.
Well, you've outdone yourself today on our family show, Jace.
The family show?
That's good.
It's utterly
It's good work,
disgusting.
Jace. It's good stuff.
I mean, I think it's entertaining.
No, it's
pretty good.
It's really not.
It's not?
No, that's absolutely disgusting.
They caught it on camera.
It's pretty funny.
No, there's nothing funny about it.
Well, there's nothing
Well,
funny
I don't
about a
work
guy
there. I
pooping
don't
in
have
the middle
to clean
of the
it
store.
up. It's a little funny.
It's pretty
It's
funny.
just one more sign that the apocalypse is upon us. What's wrong with people?
The apocalypse.
There's a lot wrong with people.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That is it.
That was your top 5 at 5. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Oh, man.
Well, just to recap, was what all we've talked about today. It was a wild weekend in sports. A lot of portal action for Tennessee. You have Dylan Loy hitting the portal. Left-handed pitcher from Pigeon Forge pitched a lot of innings for Tennessee in a lot of games and big spots the 2 years he was here. Won a national championship last year with Tennessee. But he has hit the portal. Tennessee has gotten a commitment out of the portal. Garrett Wright, MAC Defensive Player of the Year, catcher and slugger from Bowling Green University. Had a handful of visitors over the weekend. So Tony Vitello not wasting any time retooling, reloading for next year.
No, and I can't imagine that it's a very hard sell for him to get anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because he's, in my opinion, the best coach in the country. He's running the tightest ship in the country. He's building he's getting a $100 million stadium extension being put on the grounds at Lindsey Nelson. I mean, you couldn't really ask for a better situation. There's no better, coaching staff around him than any other spot in the country with Elander and Frank. It's really hard to say no to Tony.
Yeah. And granted, we've had some guys leave. Lloyd kind of headlines it, but other than that, it's been a lot of guys that we haven't seen. Like three players that didn't play left. Most notable guy other than Lloyd would probably be Thomas Crabtree, who only pitched 15 innings for us. So
yeah, and
he's keeping a lot of guys, which is good too, on top of adding stuff, which goes back to our conversation with Foster in hour one about how, Vitello, he recruits where he needs a little bit, but his priority is going out and getting the best guys, regardless of who leaves and who's in-house. Like, if you're the best, you're going to get a call from Tony Vitello if he thinks you're worth bringing onto campus. And that's the type of program that it is now. The floor is super regional, the ceiling is a national championship, and we're gardening those types of transfers now.
Yeah, it's really it's been awesome to see how Tony has been able to develop this program. I mean, he took it from nothing to the thing, I guess is the way that I would put it. It's pretty remarkable, and the fact that he's been able to keep his staff together is pretty remarkable as well. Like we talk about all the time how Elander hasn't left just yet, and I know, Bear, you were talking about you think he's probably going to wait for that South Carolina job to reopen.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd wait on that. I'm still very surprised that they didn't even I don't know if they interviewed him. If I were them, bias aside, I probably would have gone younger than Maneri.
Yeah.
I would have given him a serious hard look, but he's going to be a head coach soon somewhere.
Yeah, and that day is probably going to be a really tough one because, I mean, whenever you look back and you see how all the guys that have moved up to the majors and all that have talked about Coach Elander and what he's done, I mean, the first image that comes to mind, at least whenever we won the Natty last year, was Simo bear-hugging Josh Elander like he was just like a father figure. It was weird, but it was like, man, these guys have – stuck together, and you can see it goes down from the coaching staff. It has a trickle effect to the guys, and it's going to be hard to replace that.
Oh, correction from earlier. It's not Mason Estrada who's the submarine baller.
It's Frederick.
It's Frederick. Yes, that is right.
You said it was Mason.
Me.
Oh,
I was wrong.
Yeah, it was Frederick Estrada.
Yeah, at ETSU.
Yeah. And Bearden. He's a Bearden Bulldog.
Yes.
He's a Knoxville kid. I'm looking forward to that. Bring on the Submariner.
Oh, yeah.
I've never gotten a root
nickname
for one.
from
It's going
Das
to be
Boot.
sweet.
Yeah. It's been a minute since we've, actually.
I wonder what his number's going to be. He could be U-Boat.
I don't know. I'm going to have to look at what his number was.
So we've got that going on. Texas Tech has pulled a dastardly deed, tampered with our softball roster.
Yeah.
Karen Weekly highly upset. And the Pinnell gal will be finishing her softball career at Texas Tech. Enjoy the money.
Yeah, I mean, if someone offers you $1.2 million, you're probably going to take it. But also, it's what we talked about with Trey Wallace, where there are no rules with this stuff right now. The only rule is head coaches can't tamper. But Texas Tech was like, okay, we'll just have our billionaire booster tamper instead, because that isn't against the rules. And that's what happened, and there she went for almost over $1 million.
I mean, if they can do this whole house settlement, they've got to get that part of it under control.
They've got to. And we got into it a little bit with them, but NIL Go is supposed to be that kind of safeguard against all these NIL deals that are going around, and some aren't as good as others, but what power are they actually going to have? They say they have the power to punish these types of deeds where NIL deals aren't really NIL deals and they're just paying them to go. But it's like the NCAA, like Trey Wallace said. What power do they actually have in court?
It feels like everything that they're putting together is just them grasping for straws, because they know that they messed up on the very front end of this whenever it opened up the NIL space. They didn't have any guardrails, and they figured that out really quickly that, hey, this might not be the best idea to just let this thing be the Wild West. And, they're trying to backtrack. They've failed trying to, get folks in, I guess, reverse order, trying to implement rules the backwards way. And it's not worked. And, I think they're just grasping for straws. They still don't really have a grasp on what they're trying to put together. Even though it seems pretty simple to me, I feel like if you had contracts with these kids, you could make it sort of a semi-professional league where it becomes, these contracts are set, you have a set amount, add incentives, add, anything that you can to make it legal, quote unquote, and, you solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting on. The next steps is when are we going to get to a point where we know that boosters can't talk to players? We know what the rules are. We know what the guardrails are in every facet of the game. When are we going to get a salary cap eventually? When are we going to get collective bargaining and all of that stuff down the road that they just still aren't addressing and are just waiting for people to sue them before they address it?
Well, we are going to go ahead and pause for the cause, as they say right here. And we will be right back with more Drive on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross-country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood. But did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Showers and storms continue to roll their way on in from west to east, and that's really going to be the story over the next several days with forecast highs topping out in the low to mid 80s. However, this weekend, we're talking highs in the 90s. This forecast is brought to you by Master Battery. Listen, they've got the best prices in town guaranteed. They've been here for more than 40 years, and they have what you need when you need it. Give them a call today, 865-947-1500. That's your latest forecast. For regular updates, check in with the East Tennessee Weather app or online at easttnweather.com. From the East Tennessee Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Witcher for Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Good afternoon. It's pretty busy, right? What you would expect right now. Chapman Highway going outbound back out towards Seymour. It's stopping on Broadway through the Fountain City area all the way over the ridge there in the halls. Pretty busy now with that traffic volume. It's been moving. Let's keep it that way northbound. 75 passing that Clinton exit as you travel up through that section of Anderson County on up into Campbell County. Fountain City Jewelers Wedding Band Weekend. It's coming up. Mark it down. June 25th through the 28th. Call for an appointment. Fountain City Jewelers, where Knoxville gets stacked. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into the drive. We roll on here on a Monday afternoon. So you guys ready for the rest of the week?
I feel good about it. It's going to be fun.
You two flying solo tomorrow without me?
It's going to be fun. Jason and I are just going to have a good time.
We'll figure it out.
Who's going to lead?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I know I'll be doing...
I love it when you guys tell me we're going to figure it out.
Well,
it's also not been that long since we said that.
Yeah. You know, it'll be me, and I'll be leading on Thursday and Friday. Me and Jace will be here Tuesday. Another group will be here Wednesday.
Got a special surprise for everybody on Wednesday.
That'll be a good show. That's appointment viewing for anyone here.
Yes, it is.
But no, Jason and I will be just fine tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
I think this is we've done it once before. It's only the second time me and Russ are both gone at the same time. Usually we stagger.
Are you worried?
No. I mean, just don't do anything where we'll still have a show when we get back.
I mean, we're not.
I don't think that's in question.
That's not in question. I mean, we're
I mean, you're taking your like third vacation of the summer. I'm not even talking to you. I mean, you aren't even going to be here.
You don't think I can hold down the fort for a couple days and not get us canceled?
I think you can do it without getting us canceled.
I promise there will still be a show when you get back.
Okay.
I can almost guarantee it.
Okay. Russell usually gets nervous when he leaves it in my hands. Just don't get any big ideas, new guy.
Big ideas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If Russ dies,
new
I get the
segments.
drive.
I wasn't planning.
I'm in the
making
will.
Drive. I'm just next man. It's
Drive.
next man up
If
mentality.
if something happens to Russell, I get the drive.
Has he put that in writing?
It's been stated numerous times on
That's-
air. There's proof.
I've
of
never heard it.
I'm not one to.
And when he
litigate.
gets back, we'll go over the will for you. But yeah, if something happens to Russ, I inherit the drive. Not sure what to do with it.
I mean, we could ask him.
I mean, we can't because we're not going to bug him right now.
Yeah, but we could just text him real quick.
No, you don't. You don't text people when they're,
All right,
away.
I'm just saying.
Obviously, something. I don't know.
I
I
trust
don't
the
know if he's in
litigation.
town. I'm pretty sure this is a staycation.
You think he's just hunkering down?
It's Stanley Smith Manor. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
A little Aaron Rodgers darkness retreat sort of ordeal.
Russell, could you imagine Russell?
Russell's out there
You
doing.
think he comes back really zen?
He went out there and did
Just
ayahuasca
gonna
for a week.
Go eat a bunch of ayahuasca and sit in a dark room naked, just smearing mud all over
No,
himself.
I didn't say that. I was just saying he just stays inside.
He's gonna come out and want to go to the Jets. That'd be tough. Be tough. Then you would get the drive if he comes out of his retreat.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere. He's not. You put that out there into the
You
into the
put it out
world.
there. You did.
I merely said he was hunkered down. You guys were the ones that said he was going to be tripping.
I never
balls.
said anything. I just said
we were-
darkness retreat. Because
we
I
were
remember
talking
him.
about-
He was just inside for like 6 days.
It's true.
One of you all referenced Aaron Rodgers. And you mention Aaron Rodgers, and immediately my mind goes to powerful hallucinogenic drugs.
Well, how was that my
That was
fault?
me.
And just sitting in a dark room. So, but yeah. No, Russ will be back a week from today.
Yes.
We'll be
Wish
back
him-
on the rails.
Yeah. Fully ready to go.
It's
and,
gonna stay
and
on
put the
the
hammer down
rails.
towards football.
Yeah.
Football season. So,
Which is rapidly approaching. I didn't even realize we were more than
how many
halfway
days
through
out
June.
are we?
Not that many.
'Cause
If
I know,
had to
we
guess.
crossed the 100. I bet we're in that 70 range.
I think it's closer. I don't want to say it's 70. I feel like we crossed 100 days not too long ago.
So we are on the dot, 75 days away from.
Told you.
Wow, there
It's
you
a
go.
gift. It's a gift,
It is
boys.
a gift. He knows. 75 days. Man,
Who is going to be our starting quarterback?
we still don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know until
Who's just going to be in the backfield? Who's going to be? What's just our skill position tree going to look like?
I think we'll have Mike Matthews.
It'll be Matthews and Brazel.
Matthews and Brazel.
Those will be the two. And the slot spot, I think, is still kind of up for debate.
No, it's
What's his name? I think we have a third guy. I just can't remember his name off the top of my head.
done a horrible job of remembering names today. You can have Kitzelman at tight end.
Should be good.
Kitzelman and Davis, yeah.
It's going to probably. I think it's still going to be Merklinger, but maybe it is Joey Aguilar. And then Peyton Lewis will be your starting tailback. I think as it stands right now, it's going to go across the line. David Sanders. Center's a big one for me.
Yeah. I think
Sam Pendleton, I feel
Yeah,
like, is
the
going to be
Pendleton
guy
someone
from Notre
slotting
Dame.
into that spot. I mean, he played center at Notre Dame. Like,
Veteran
it's going to
guy.
be a little bit, but, he's going to be a third year or fourth year redshirt sophomore. I feel like he'll be able to hold it down under center. But then again, we're coming off of, the Mays brothers in there at center, and it's not an easy spot to fill. It's really important, especially with a new quarterback probably, especially if it's Joey Aguilar, who had only been learning the offense and on campus for a couple months up to that point.
That's a good point. I just think Merklinger's, familiar with the system, and let's not act like he was like a 2 or 3 star. I mean, he was a high.
He's a high-star guy.
Yeah, he's
He
a
was a
highly,
top 10
highly
quarterback
rated
in the country.
4-star, top 10 quarterback in the country, and he's been in the system. So he had to go out and get somebody. We could not go into this year
without a backup
with a guy that's not played a whole lot, and then just a
freshman.
green true freshman
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
who looks like he needs to gain about 30 or 40 pounds before he sees the field.
Has he looked like he's even, swelled up at all since he's been here, McIntyre?
I haven't seen
he's
any
only been here
workout
for like
pictures of him.
5 months or so.
I mean, he'll get on the Tennessee training program.
He can absolutely rip a football. I mean, I watched him play last year when he was in high school. He shredded Catholic.
Yeah.
The second half.
Well,
I mean, he's got
where
a
did he
cannon.
go to school?
He went to
Brentwood, wasn't
Brentwood.
it?
Brentwood.
Brentwood Academy.
Brentwood Academy.
Yeah, they got some good football players there. But no, you think it's going to be, though, Peyton Lewis in the backfield, though, right?
Yeah, Peyton Lewis is going to be a starter, barring injury.
Not no Deshaun Bishop love?
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun Bishop will definitely get some run, but Peyton Lewis is your feature back. He's explosive. He's got explosive playmaker.
Yeah.
Kind of written all over him.
Do you wish that we would have been able to hold on to Cam Seldon?
Definitely would have helped in this situation. I mean, we did get, not to say those aren't our only two guys, like Star Thomas, we got out of the portal, and he's not nobody at a Duke.
Right.
Like, he's going to be pretty helpful, at least in a third down role. It might take that spot if we're not careful, but
I mean, Seldon was one of my picks to click. But he started off the year with the shoulder injury coming into the year, and he never could quite get his feet underneath him.
Yeah, he was just behind the 8 ball, and you get lost in the shuffle, especially when Deshaun Bishop takes the step that he did last year, and P. Lou would come in on important downs, and he'd be serviceable. So, whenever you get lost in that mix, and you end up on special teams, on kick return and stuff like that, you do just get lost in the shuffle, and it is really hard to dig yourself out of that. But where did he even end up? Like Virginia Tech?
I believe so.
Close home, yeah.
I'm not sure.
I believe he did. We've had entirely too much of that today, boys. We got to be on our game better. We got to get 1% better.
What? Just the I guess so's?
The not knowing the names. That's where Russell usually picks us up at.
Well, Russell's got he remembers every name. It's wild. He kind of knows just all of that. But we're doing our best. We're doing our best here, and we do have computers. We can research it and figure it out. I wonder who's going to be our best pass rusher next year.
I think it's probably Joseph's.
Yeah. I think West has some real potential to come off the other end opposite Joseph's and sort of catapult himself up, sort of like Joseph's was able to do last year. With Pierce being the premier rusher, takes a lot of pressure off of everybody else on that line. So I think if Joseph's is going to be your feature, then I think a guy like West jumping off the edge can really do some damage.
I'm starting. I'd say by the time we all reconvene as a whole show that it's getting to be tingly season.
Yeah,
for football.
Yeah,
I think once it hits like that turn to July, whenever we're actually getting back into the swing and they're coming back together, I think it'll be. I'm going to be itching for it because this season, unlike last year, has so many more questions behind it. Like again, we still don't know what our quarterback situation is going to be. We don't know much about this team at all. Outside of we have a decent amount of depth at wide receiver. It's very talented, but outside of that, you've got a lot of questions everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like the second the NBA Finals ends and there's nothing else on but baseball, I start to think about, man, football is only like 60 days away at that point.
Yeah.
You just have to get a little tingly. You see NFL off-season news, guys report to camp early in the fall, and you're just like, oh, man, I cannot wait for it at that point. But we got a little ways to go. And, again, we still can't turn the page on baseball because we're really good at it.
Well, no,
now.
I mean, there's actual news.
Yeah.
I mean, we got guys coming in and out of the portal, a lot of moving parts. There's not a lot of news so far on basketball.
No.
I think the basketball news, I think that's going to go quiet for a little bit until maybe especially with it seeming like Sakai and Jordan Gainey aren't going to get waivers to play anymore. No. And unless we get an official word that they expand the rosters and add more scholarships, I think they're just going to do their training camp and we'll hear rumors out of that. till about October, November.
Yeah, he keeps a pretty tight lid on everything
yeah.
over there. He got really upset a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
What was that?
There was a private scrimmage, and it was a team. I can't remember who it was, but the coach was, I think, off the Barnes tree, and we'd kind of manhandled him, and then it was just a very informal scrimmage, and then somebody posted a full breakdown of it.
Yeah, that's not something that's going to go over well with him.
No, he got pretty upset about it. So,
yeah, no, off-season stuff.
What are you going to do?
Off-season stuff stays, in-house, off the books for Barnes until they roll out.
Until
somebody talks, or until they roll out the balls for those first couple scrimmages.
That's it in a nutshell. So they're pretty tight. I mean, nobody's more tight-lipped than Heupel. He does his whole Jedi mind trick thing he does.
He goes to the next level.
He is coached.
Will not answer. Will not answer a question. No,
it's
not at all.
It's very Belichick-ish. He just bounces around questions, and
if
he doesn't like it, he won't answer it.
I mean, we already know what he's said about Nico, but he'll be asked about the quarterback situation. He'll probably just say, "We'll put whoever is best fit out there, and we're going to believe in that guy, and we're going to trust him with our utmost confidence." Something along those lines.
Yeah,
we're not going to get an answer till probably game week about who's going to be our guy.
Probably not. No, and it will be. I mean, I've still got a lot of questions because this is the same guy. Like we've talked about it time and time again. He had Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton at practice that summer and trotted Milton out there.
He did.
But, some of it can be Milton maybe. I mean, obviously, Milton is an incredible practice player and the arm talent and.
Can't coach it.
No, he's just got a cannon. But I'll never not wonder what would have happened had Joe not gotten dinged up in that Pittsburgh game in 21.
I think Hendon leaves.
Maybe. I bet if
he only had a year left.
He still would have found his way onto the field that year, I'm pretty sure. I think Milton probably wouldn't have left him much of a choice. Because especially back then.
He probably might have played just good enough to not lose his job.
I don't know. Back then, he was still really kind of raw talent, and I felt like Hendon would have worked his way onto the field somehow without that. Maybe that's just me, kind of, hindsight's 20/20 and you see it, but I don't know. I have it hard to believe that Hendon wouldn't have found his way onto the field without that energy or injury still.
Did y'all see where Shohei Ohtani's interpreter has officially made it to prison?
Yeah, it seems like that's finally shut the door on that, even with people still thinking Ohtani was a part of it. But no, he's locked up for good.
Not for good. He's only been sentenced
to
57 months in prison.
57 months.
57 months for
4.5 years.
Taking away $17 million of Ohtani's money. I think you're getting off pretty light. 4.5 months or 4.5 years. That's a slap on the wrist, in my opinion. $17 million.
It's not that
4
much.
years in prison.
I still don't fully believe that Ohtani was completely innocent and all that.
I feel like Ohtani doesn't. I don't even think he knows much about sports gambling in general, to be honest. I just feel like he's such a baseball nut. Like, he cares.
Really sitting here and saying that into a microphone right now?
What I don't think he was a part of it. Yes. Do you
what
think
does this guy's deal with Ohtani, Jace?
I don't know. He's the golden boy.
President of his fan club?
Yeah, I mean,
you gonna tell me that you don't know some dude is taking he's basically stolen $17 million from you,
and you wouldn't know?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
It was his interpreter. It wasn't his bookkeeper. This is
that's incredible. I'm blown away. I cannot believe you're that gullible. All right, well, that'll do it for this segment. We'll be right back after these messages with a shocking conclusion of the drive coming up next on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
You're locked onto Fan Run Radio, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and online at fanrunradio.com.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Good afternoon. Still some volume over here on Pillsbury Parkway over I-40. It's heavy now, headed back towards Blount County, going down Pillsbury Parkway across the bridge as it picks up now Broadway through the Fountain City area. All that traffic headed out towards Corrington. Just heavy traffic volume on that Solway Bridge right now coming out of the Oak Ridge area. Just trying to work your way up towards Pillsbury Parkway. Fountain City Jewelers Wedding Band Weekend. It'll be here before you know it, June 25th through the 28th. Check out their website or give them a call at Fountain City Jewelers. They're right there next to Liddon's. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Wrapping up here on a Monday afternoon. Going over everything that went down this weekend. We had y'all gonna watch the College World Series this evening?
I'm gonna attempt to. With work being early and stuff, it doesn't help. But I think it's a pretty marquee matchup. I think you got LSU, top 6 team in the country, heading into the national tournament, and UCLA was sort of a weird team. I think that got a national seed. I mean, it was very deserved. I mean, they've won a lot of games this year, and had somewhat. I didn't even know the kid's name, but their shortstop, Roach Chalowski or something like that along those lines, has been like one of the best defensive shortstops in the country, and a lot of people are saying he was snubbed for a finalist spot for the Golden Spikes Award.
So when are they dropping the Golden Spikes Award?
It should be this week.
Later this week, I think.
Probably Friday, if I had to guess.
I did see that one of the publications gave their National Player of the Award to the Florida State guy.
Lodis?
Yeah, Lodis. I saw he won one of those, but that's not the official Golden Spikes Award, but that is something to note for all.
Yeah, it worries me a little bit that Doyle, last time anybody saw Doyle, he was kind of getting shelled by Arkansas.
Yeah, it doesn't leave a nice lasting memory for the season that he did put together. So the Golden Spikes Award winner will be announced on June 21st, so that'll be Saturday, right before Game 1 of the championship series.
Saturday.
Yes.
It's going to be a long wait till then.
Yeah,
you think he's going to win it?
I kind of don't think so
I
anymore.
think they're going to give it to the Aloy kid from Arkansas.
Probably.
If I had to pick a guy, that's probably who I'm putting my money on.
So what's the last major award UT athletes won? The Blitnikoff?
Yeah, Blitnikoff.
Doyle was pitcher of the year
hold
this
on.
year.
What did Connect and
Lanier won the Jerry West Award this year, best shooting guard in the country.
That's pretty high up there.
Connect won the Irving Award for best small forward in the country.
He was a Wooden Award finalist too.
He should have won that, but they gave it to Lurch.
The
Giants.
Foul Ming. You familiar with that nickname?
Foul Ming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it before.
I can't remember who coined it on the show, but somebody affiliated with us, I'm pretty sure.
Affiliated with us or the station coined that one?
I think it was us. It got said on our show. I don't know. I mean, it could have been. I mean, honestly, we're all morons.
Yeah, we are.
Across all shows. So, but it was a good one. Hyatt, our only Blitnikoff Award winner.
Yeah.
Peyton should have won the Heisman.
Should have. In another universe, and about every other universe and timeline.
I mean, it's just stats.
Stats
Stats weren't even that good.
Sadly.
They just weren't. There was just an anti-Peyton bias by ESPN that year.
Then
and it's funny now because he's got to be one of their big earners.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton?
Yeah.
He's one of their prize ponies.
He owns a media company that they partner with.
Yeah. I mean, one of their bigger shows is that deal he does with
Eli.
What do they call that?
Just the Manning cast.
Yeah, that's it.
Manning
the Manning
cast.
He's doing the Manning cast, and
he does all like the Peyton's places. That's gone far beyond him. Like he did, like his brother does one. I think like an old WNBA player does one. They've got several of those rolling right now.
Just kind of silly that they didn't. They just snubbed him for a trophy that it should have been rightfully his and ours by extension.
Did y'all see what Russ said Woodson should do if his son commits to
we're not
Tennessee?
Even, Russ is a maniac
I did not
when it
hear
comes
that.
to the Heisman Trophy.
I mean, I think it's somewhat of a fair trade for what torment that put Tennessee fans through.
Well, that's
of course,
Russ
I didn't live
being
through
nuts
it. But
about it. I mean, I don't blame him, but
all he's asking for is Woodson to turn in his Heisman to Peyton. Where
he
rightfully
can be a
belongs.
Vol. This is Russell Smith 6 hours ago. He can be a Vol when his dad gives Peyton his trophy and apologizes for his insolence. Not that I'm bitter.
This kid wasn't even come on.
This is deeper than football. This is the Heisman Trophy.
This is the Heisman Trophy.
Have we had any updates? Changing the subject real quick, back to the World Series. Have we had any Jello Shot Challenge updates?
LSU is just running away with it.
Is that why they're not even?
It's not even a contest. Like LSU, I think I saw
Arkansas
a video.
was close. The last update I saw, it was like LSU had gone up to like the 10,000 mark. Arkansas was at like 9,500.
Where were we at?
We finished with like just under 40,000, I think, last year. LSU the year before blew it out of the water.
So as of yesterday, I believe LSU had over 10,000 Jello shots.
Yeah, they do. 10,197.
And the second closest was Murray State with 5,396, with Arkansas close behind at 4,823.
UCLA bringing up the rear at 782.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
usually
Jello
those West
shots.
Coast schools like never
It's
show
tough.
up. Like I remember whenever we were up there in 23, like Stanford didn't have much of a horse in that race.
Oh wait, I found a more updated picture. LSU is actually up to 13,789.
Who's in second?
It's still Murray State with 6,672. Arkansas not quite even to 6,000 yet at 5,903.
Who has the all-time records at LSU?
Oh yeah, I think LSU has it by a mile.
They had
They had some rich person.
oh yeah, they had some like 60,000 in 23. 60,000 Jello shots.
Yeah, but those numbers were more inflated than
Yeah.
Steroid era baseball, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had the same thing happen. Like, we had somebody on Vol Twitter that was just like, "Hey, send me money and I'll buy Jello shots for the tally," and that happened. And like big time donors, somebody bought like 1,000 Jello shots like at once, just in there.
It's insane. How much are those things a piece?
$5.
$5.
But $1 to each goes to the local food bank.
Yeah,
that's the whole gimmick behind
That's
it.
how, and that's how it ended up on the list. So they give 20% to a food bank and from wherever the team's from.
Correct.
And the other 80% goes in their pockets.
Yes.
I mean, it's ingenious. It's a great grift, but
at least they're doing something to give back. You know, most places wouldn't.
Just enough to make you and all the rest of the sheep think this is
sheep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's awesome.
Wait, what, the Jello shots thing?
Yeah.
It's a harmless deal. Like, it's not like they're like taking
yeah, but
candy
everybody was
from
trying
babies or anything.
everybody was trying to act like I was just an ogre because they give this money to, they give all, they were trying to get me to believe that they give all this money to charity. They don't. They give 20%.
Yeah, they give $1 of it. Who told you it was all of it?
I mean, it came up last year when Russ was putting it on the list of awesome things. I still don't think it's awesome. To be quite honest with you.
What's wrong with it? Like,
who wants to be around a bunch of people just drunk on Jello shots?
I do.
Been there. It's terrible.
Me and Jace.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad. It's actually it's pretty fun.
If you're in that crowd with them, then it's not.
It's absolutely terrible.
I mean, if you're not one of them, you're against them.
You guys going to be able to function without me?
I think so.
Yeah, we'll be okay. I think we'll manage.
It's more on you than it is him.
What do you mean?
Well, because you've got one more day.
Yes.
Trey Wallace, and you're out of here.
Trey Wallace.
Wow.
Going after the award.
Nah.
I mean, he literally stated last week that it's your second vacation in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's my last one of the whole year.
You're not taking any more time off till New Year's Eve.
I mean, I have to move into a new
I'm
apartment.
not counting that.
Then outside of that, no.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I only took the one vacation this summer. I have nothing else lined
You
up
missed
for later.
days left and right.
All right, I missed some for work, and we're not counting Jace moving, but we count mine for employment.
You're not here.
Jace isn't going to be here when he's moving in his apartment.
That's moving. Everybody has to move occasionally.
Everybody has to work occasionally.
Right. You say tomato, I say tomato.
I'd like those days stricken from the record.
Stricken from the record? I don't think that's going to happen. Well, in some college baseball news, Virginia's Henry Ford hit the transfer portal earlier this month after the Cavaliers head coach Brian O'Connor left UVA to go to the Mississippi State job. And there's 3 teams in the SEC that are in the top of the running for Ford. It's Mississippi State, so he would be following his coach over to Starkville, Texas, and Tennessee. Ford hit .336 with 17 homers last year, as well as 69 RBI, and had a 1.006 OPS on the season. He played 56 games at first base whenever he was a freshman. He played 18 there last year before he moved to right field and played for 34 games. So, and he also played center field a little bit last year. So I think that could be a really nice draw for Tony Vitello if he's able to get him in the door.
For sure. I mean, this is a guy who we talked about it similarly with the Seton Hall guy, that if we get one of these two, they kind of fill that spot in center field that's kind of vacant, and we can just move Abernathy to the infield, and that kind of situates it there pretty much through the offseason. I mean, we need one of these two guys, in Henry Ford and Aiden Robbins. I know Russ is a big Aiden Robbins fan. He's a big contact guy, but Henry Ford hits bombs.
Well, I mean, I think really anybody can hit bombs at Lindsey
true.
Nelson. I think it really helps because, I mean, I think the more you put the bat on the ball, the more that ball is eventually going to fly out of the ballpark, especially with what we work with on a weekend basis in the spring. So honestly, the more that you can get on base, the better. We've seen a lot of guys that aren't really known for the big home run numbers, such as like a guy like Hunter Ensley, who still hit before the postseason. He was leading the house in batting average. He was hitting like 360 for most of the year in the 3 and 4 hole, and he still ended up with like 10, 11 home runs this year. So he was still putting together pretty decent power numbers, but he was also, consistent about putting the ball in play.
Yeah, contact runners can definitely run into a couple home runs.
Exactly.
Lindsey Nelson out there to right field. Well, I mean, you got to mention this guy is a top 100 MLB draft prospect,
which is not good.
73. He is draft eligible this summer, so he could commit and go to the draft for all we know. So we can't kind of hold our hopes out too much. But if he does come to Tennessee, he's got 2 years of college eligibility remaining. Granted, we probably only get him for 1 year.
Yeah.
If he commits before he goes to the draft. I mean, if he's 73 and he comes into the Vitello system, you can only imagine he'll go higher up in the rankings, assuming he plays well.
Which is really nice because, we've seen players like that happen before. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was playing first base at UConn. We were really, really excited to get him on campus, and he, was somehow bolstered up to like a second-round pick. And, at that point, you can't really refuse to go to the league because that's an organization that really believes in you if you're going to be going second round. So, but it's always nice to have a guy like the right kid from Bowling Green who's still got 1 year before he's draft eligible. He's been proven on the defensive and offensive side of the Diamonds, and it's really going to help us out. It's going to clog up the catcher room, but it's nice to have an abundance of wealth.
Yeah, and all we can do is wait and see if he if one of these guys lands, and we'll just keep you updated when we hear it. You'll hear it on the show, and really hoping for some more portal news. Good, especially for some batters. We need some batters.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us today. You got the slate coming up next with John Reed and William Pattison. For Jace and Walker, this is Bear saying so long, and we will see you again tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m.